For the full episode, make sure you go to Patreon. Patreon.com/flipthescriptpod. If you want the curses, if you don't want no bleeps, and you want to get that feel, go on Patreon right now for the full, uncut version of this episode. G Money!
Yo.
What's up, man?
What's good? We back.
A lot of energy in here, huh?
A lot of energy.
How you feel? Why? Yeah,
I told you whenever we got Harlem, in here, things get a little different.
I respect.
You know what I'm saying? The vibe gets a little. Yeah. But we here, man. You know.
How you doing, man? Welcome back. You know what I mean? We on a good run.
Yeah, I ain't tell me it was short day today, man. So I try to put my sweats up a little bit.
It's hot outside, man. It's hot outside.
I ain't get the memo, man. I ain't tell me that we was doing the legs out today. Shout out to Michelle one time, basketball in the building.
Yo, shout out to Michelle. Mighty 2 times.
Behind the scenes looking pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see it. You know, you stepping your game up. You know, that's a typical. You know what I mean? You step your game up, try to leave me out the loop, get money. You got sponsors.
What you
mean? You don't want to give me no money, and that's the problem. Yeah, I know. But I'm excited about this next episode.
Facts.
I'm definitely excited. You know, you came in here, and you let it be known what it is.
Facts.
And you can respect it, right?
Man to man.
Yeah. How Dawson doing? He good?
He good. He chilling.
You sure?
Yeah, everything good.
Mama Love is good. And Need met last time you pushed her on the floor. So about that?
I didn't push her on the floor, man.
Okay. All right. But I want to say this, man. Shout out to the whole team. We got a lot of things going on, a lot of things. We have an announcement to work on, a big announcement regarding Flip the Script podcast, which I'm extremely excited about.
Yes.
That's what I'm excited about. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, a lot of these people, they don't understand, especially in the YouTube world. It's a dog-eat-dog world, but I feel like our uniqueness is what. Oh, look at that! Our uniqueness is what keep us, in the loop.
Facts.
But G Money,
yo,
episode 160. We made it. We got a special guest. Harlem in the building.
Uptown.
Came in here. Let it be known. Got nothing but respect. My man, Unique Mecca Audio. Welcome. Unique, what's up, man?
Everything love, fam. Everything love. I'm here for you. You know what I mean? Like
I hope so.
Man.
I hope you hear from me.
You know what I mean? As men, we gotta let it be known where we coming from, so it ain't no disrespect. And anything after that, is a reaction, to an action. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to cause a reaction. I'm just trying to have fun. My man Boosie brought me here, so I'm going to give you me. You know what I mean? Like I said, as long as I'm respected, everything love, family.
Can you let, because, that was behind the scenes, but can you let the people know when you walked in here, what did you say exactly?
Oh, I'll let you know that I'm not on that I'm here to have a serious interview. You want to know who Unique is? I'm going to give you Unique.
But you're not with the playing stuff.
Yeah, Unique ain't on the I just did 26 years. I'm a little aggressive. I'm a little direct. I'm Harlem. I'm that. You know what I mean? If you don't respect it, and that's where we at. Not to you, but to whoever looking out there that don't know where I'm coming from. I ain't coming here for no. You want to know who I am? My man going to tell you who I am, because I ain't got to tell you who I am. The streets going to tell you who I am. I laid quiet for 26 years and shut the fuck up. You understand what I'm saying? I got to shut up line at Mecca Audio Gear. You know what I mean? For the niggas that want to run their mouth when they get caught, they want to tell their mother, their brother, their dog. You know what I mean? Michael Jackson, pet monkey, Bubbles. You know what I mean? The whole point is just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? And that's it. I shut the fuck up for 26 years, so I'm entitled to tell you to shut the fuck up when you get picked up. I ain't promote nobody hustling, doing nothing. I done did it all. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, right now, 26 years later, I regret it. You understand what I'm saying? But I did what I had to do. But when them people came with the handcuffs, I shut the fuck up. I laid down for 26 years. That's why y'all don't know who I am. You understand what I'm saying? But I am Harlem. You know what I mean? But Harlem getting ready to tell you who I am because I'm out now. Kevin Charles, love him to death.
Shout out to Kevin Charles.
You understand what I'm saying? He respect me, kept my name out the magazine, because if they would have known who I was, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I would have died in prison. I had life plus 20 with no chance of parole. You understand what I'm saying? But I finagled my way out, did what I had to do, and I'm here. You understand what I'm saying? And it is what it is.
So let me ask you a question. And shout out to the people recording. When we get the interview started, we can't record guys over there to the left. But I want y'all to get this part. Let me ask you a question. So before you came up here, right? You heard that there's these guys that's up here that do interviews, but they play around too much. Yes. Like the
I ain't gonna say play around. They said you was disrespectful. I'm gonna give it to you, G, the way I heard it.
Really?
Ain't no play around. They said something about, I didn't even name. They said something about Eric B came up here, he got disrespected.
Eric B is my uncle.
Okay, but regardless if he's your dog, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He deserves respect. I deserve respect.
Oh,
I command respect. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, that's where I'm at. So that's how I came up here to let you know You know what I mean? Respect me, I'm going to respect you, and I'm going to give you the best of me.
All right, can I say something, please?
All the time.
Eric B is my uncle, so families have a different rapport amongst everybody, and I think that's where it went over the head, and Eric B, he also stated
Understood.
that. Yeah, that's my uncle, so I'm able to talk to him. I go, get out of here, and able to do that with him.
Real talk though, I told my nigga I'm like, nah, Flip ain't like that. It only depends on who he interviewing. And
character,
with a lot of is his people, so he only gonna do that when need be.
But I respect how he came. Come on, he came in Jamaica in the building. I did my research.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let him talk because that's my. I want him to get it, get it off his chest so he can feel comfortable.
I mean,
so,
he came.
You know what I'm saying? But I already know how you was gonna carry it, and I appreciate that you respected my name.
No, I respect him. I respect anybody as a man. At the end of the day, we all men, like you said, and he didn't say. He said everything that a man should say when he demands respect. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is.
No doubt.
But let's get into the interview. Welcome. Shout out to Bootsy. Welcome back, man. You know what I mean?
You, man.
Caused a lot of, your interview caused a lot of things, man.
A lot of things.
Your interview caused a lot of things.
Guess what? It was real talk.
Respect.
And guess what? Now I'm back with one of my other big brothers who made Big Bootsy who he is today. After the AZ era and all that, this is what I was up with.
Man. I heard.
Right after.
Yo, so real quick, for those who, you were guest on the show before, so for those who might have missed the episode or don't know who you are, can you let them know who you are real quick?
I mean, I'm Big Bootsy from Harlem. I'm one of the Harlem greatest, I could definitely say. Thanks to a lot of things that I've done, thanks to a lot of people that have been in my life that influenced me from the streets to keep me out of prison doing 26 years like my brother did. And, a lot of people know me from the Paid in Full movie. I did a lot of I helped actually put the movie together with my brother Dame Dash, my brother Jay Black. I had the two little scenes in there, which was really a lot of people know it. I get stopped in airports still to this day for that one scene. Snatched the chain, gave me the chain. You shining that, homie, and all. I didn't talk because I wasn't in the union, so I couldn't talk. They probably would have snatched that part. So that's what I'm mostly known for. So I was brought over there to do consultant work and work with the actual actors because I knew the actual guy. So that's who Big Bootsy is.
Respect.
And you're from that time, that era. So
I jumped off the porch early. I was, making moves with them, and that's how I know how to move in them streets. I learned what I learned from AZ, which is a smart brother. And then I actually, after AZ and them fell back, I still was in the streets moving, and I ran into my brother right here and learned a lot of other things.
Hold on, Bootsy. It's not about you today. Hold on. And I appreciate you.
I'm giving it up for who I'm from.
His introduction is strong enough, Bootsy. We have a rapport. We gonna get caught up in talking. I gotta get to. I need to talk to.
Let's go.
I need to talk to him.
Say let's go.
Well, before we get started, we usually start at a pace. Tell us about your childhood. What I read is that you were raised in Jamaica, right? And I'm half Jamaican, and my father's from.
See, then me I chat about them and say me don't deal with the with that.
Yeah. Tell us about your childhood. Tell us about growing up in Jamaica.
I'm from Kingston 16, the Gully Posse. Big shout out to Chinaman Donnie Bones. Ooh. You know what I mean? Tony Tough, Scarface Scully. You know what I mean? Pepper. You know what I mean? My man Teeny Bop. You know what I mean? I go on all day. You know what I mean? That's the Gully Posse. That's where I'm from, Kingston 16. Grew up in Wellington Street when the political wars came in the early 70s. When Manley came in, and then when Siega started beefing with Manley, you understand what I'm saying, as far as for power, you know what I mean? That's when we had to tighten up and, get off the island, you know what I mean, or lay down, you know what I mean? Because we didn't do elections like they do in America, where they pass out ballots and play all them games. You know what I mean? The politicians like Donald Trump and Biden, instead of, passing out pamphlets, they passed out 38s, you know what I mean? And told us to kill anything that's putting the ballot in the other box. You know what I mean? That's the era I come from. You know what I mean? Trying to scare nobody, letting know what it is. You know what I mean? Nothing to brag about. That's where I come from I was a kid. You understand what I'm saying? If you ain't voting for us, you dying. You know what I mean? Ain't no next year you're going to change your vote. We ain't changing shit. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. But you know what I mean? So that led up to 1980, which was the most deadliest election in Jamaican history. That's where you saw Bob Marley held up Siega and Manley's hand on the stage at the peace rally. You understand what I'm saying? Because literally, while that was going on, they was handing out guns behind the scenes. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's how we vote. You know what I'm saying? Dead man can't vote. You know what I mean? Bottom line.
So in Jamaica at that time, right? a lot of people, even when I have artists up here, right, they don't like to get into the politics of Jamaica. They don't want to get into the talk about that. Why do you think that is? They don't want to talk about what happened back then. You see how you got into details? They don't want to get into too much details. Like a lot of Jamaican artists that we had up here, Mr. Vegas or even, I think Supercat's the only one that I spoke to that doesn't care, but a lot of artists that we had up here.
Jabba too? You talk to Jabba about it?
Yeah, Jabba. A lot of people that we had up here, they don't like to talk about it. Why do you think they stay away from that whole JPN and
Well, let me ask you this. How old was they?
I don't
That's
know.
the key. What I'm saying is, if they're not from the era, they can't speak about the era because they didn't experience the era. They didn't live the era. They didn't breathe the era. They didn't die for the era. They didn't witness anyone die for it. So therefore, they're going to stay out of it because that's where it is. You understand what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, I'm not here to speak on this and that. I'm just here to let you know that is real.
So if you speak on it, it's real. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. But
respect,
I mean,
respect.
the ones that don't speak on, no disrespect to them, they probably just didn't know because they wasn't from the era.
Got you.
I ran in the era. I was running in herb gates in the Bronx and in Brooklyn from back in the 70s when I was 13, 14, 12 years old. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's in my book of Roy and Harlem. Cop that joint. Everything you need to know about me is there. You know what I mean? Like I said, me sitting here right now was not supposed to happen. Them had me down to die in prison. Bottom line. You know what I mean? But I outmaneuvered them and I'm sitting here on this couch. But I got life plus 20 supposed to die in prison. I'm the last they expected to put on the street. That's why I still got this monitor on me. You know what I mean? Ain't got nothing to do with my criminal case. This is my immigration case. I've been up here since 1972 when I was 7. You know what I mean? Where we escaped the war. But they still fuck with me for the war. You know what I mean? I was a baby, but they still fuck with me for the war.
Wow.
When you lived with both parents, like tell us about like growing up in Jamaica. Like you had your mom and dad. You lived
Now I grew up with my grandfather and my grandmother.
Okay.
I'm a Garveyite. You understand what I'm saying? I'm related to Marcus Garvey. My grandfather and Marcus Garvey's father have the same mother and father. They're first cousins. You understand what I'm saying? So it's in my blood to fight. You know what I mean? So I apologize if I'm a little direct. You know what I mean? How I might come off.
No, you good. Don't worry about it.
But that's how I was raised. I don't play the games. I don't sugarcoat. I say it like it is. I can laugh too. You know what I mean? But I'm just letting you know that, you know what I mean? During that era, you know what I mean? Like I said, I grew up when Rastas first came out in the 60s. I was born in 64. Rasta began in like 64. You know what I mean? So my oldest cousin, you know what I mean? Big Tony, you know what I mean? That's who brought me out in the Rasta community, working in the herb gates. All that, like I said, is in a Roy and Harlem. If you don't read the book, you're a motherfucking fool. You know what I mean? Because if you want to know the real what I'm talking about, get the book of Roy and Harlem. And I ain't just plugging the book. I'm just letting you know I'm not no motherfucking writer. I don't expect to be no author. You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? I just wanted my grandkids to know why I am who I am. You know what I mean? I don't want the media to tell them why I'm who I am.
That's real.
You understand what I'm saying? So I spoke on it myself. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's where we at.
So during this time, where were your parents at this time?
They was in America making a way to send for us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they came up to America to save their money. My mother worked changing fucking old rich people bedpans. You know what I mean? And like that, you know, while we still in Jamaica. You know what I mean? So my whole thought pattern was to get to America and fix my mother up straight so she didn't have to do that. That's what my thought pattern was growing up as a child, was getting my mother right. You know what I mean? Anybody that know me, you know what I mean? The homies from the hood, they know first thing I did, bought my mother a big ass house down in Florida, swimming pool, jacuzzi,
Mama
2-car garage, gave her everything.
That's what's
You understand what I'm saying? When I got locked up, she went on the run for 7 years because they went after her. But she held strong because she knew the key word, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? When them people come, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yo, pardon me. You guys are recording with you live. You know we don't really.
No, that's my man. That's my joint. We ain't going live. We ain't gonna do no
We
live.
really don't lie to record.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna need a copy of something so for my own platform too, if you don't mind, so we could work something. Family, work with me, dog. Family, work with me, man. Work with me. You gonna tell me turn my joint, or you want to be the only one with the joint? Family,
Yeah,
work
but
with me. I got my platform too.
we got
I'm
the
here on the
footage.
strength of my man Bootsy, son.
We got the footage. No, hold on, Basketball.
You know what I mean?
We got. So can they record in increments?
Yeah.
Meaning, can they record? You know what it means. They just record different sections.
Oh,
for
okay,
your
I ain't got a
you know,
problem with
the
that,
whole
but,
thing. Come on,
but, I
don't do me
just,
like
but
that.
we just want something so
That's
we can
Harlem,
say
no
we
Harlem.
here with big flips, son.
No
We want
Harlem
our
hustle
own.
me, no Harlem
I'm my
hustle
own
me.
man. I'm just saying, I'm my own man. I
Like,
want
this
my
is
own.
what you can take. No Harlem hustle. You just
Nah,
can't.
I ain't gonna hustle you. Never that,
No
homie.
Harlem dudes.
Never
hustlers,
that.
man.
But I'm just saying, you don't want to be the only one eating. I made some Bootsy eating, everybody else in Harlem eating. So Big Flip eating, you need supposed to eat.
Yeah, G, come on, don't
You know what I mean? I just want to eat. I want to make some of my people eat. I got my man DP 201, my cameraman. You know what I mean? I told him to stand by. You know what I mean? That we're gonna get a little footage for him, do what he do.
Okay.
But we'll do it however you want. I'm gonna respect
No,
your
you know
house
what?
because that's what it's about.
And I appreciate that. I'm
know
just
what I mean?
saying, everybody that come in here, we have a no recording rule. If you look at there, no phone.
Hey, family, I couldn't read until I went to ADX, so I ain't even trying to figure out what that said. So we're not gonna speak on your signs. Your signs is for the good niggas that can read.
That's
Now, I'm just
sharp.
saying,
That's
son.
sharp.
I love you, man.
That was
You know
sharp.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I'm just keeping it G.
That was facts.
All that reading.
All right,
You know,
but
hey,
now
let me
you
tell you
can
something.
read.
Yeah, no, but listen, I learned how to read a triple beam scale before I learned my ABCs. You know what I mean? The last thing I want to do is put together the European alphabet at 56. You know what I mean? Just give me the numbers so I can add this money up to see where we going. All I'm with is the money, man. I'm not with the alphabet.
Yo, G,
You know what I mean? Now I'm just keeping it G. You know what I mean? I'm not with the alphabet. All that, you can read it to me if you would like.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm not even gonna turn my neck to waste my energy to play that game.
I'm just saying.
But
that,
I love you and I respect
thank
you.
I'm just
so-
saying,
And we're gonna
let's
do it however you want.
Let's take increments. Hold on.
Instrument, we with you. I'm riding with you.
Got you.
However you want to do it, we riding. I ain't here this. I'm here to ride with you, family.
And if you can, please allow us to post our joint first, and then you can post.
No, we ain't gonna post nothing without you.
I
First of
appreciate-
all,
cool.
this your house. Once y'all done, then we gonna do what we do, cause we might do this again.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, I ain't trying to run and do nothing and all that old crap.
But like you said earlier, we got as maybe I just be transparent and let
Yeah.
them know because there was an episode that happened, this year that small footage and then they posted it before,
That-
Always know.
Yeah,
G,
well, whoever it is, I'm telling you now, that's a sucker. This your house, that's your shit. When you post your shit, then from there, then we do what we got to do. You know what I mean? But you ain't got to worry about none of that. That's some old crap. I ain't thirsty for no views. You know what I mean? I am views.
I am.
No, I'm
views.
just letting you know. I'm not thirsty for views to run and post nothing.
You are the view.
I am the view.
You know, I'm
You know
a
what I
view
mean?
too. I'm a view too.
And I know you is. And that's why I'm going to let you get your shot.
I almost got
But
a billion on it now.
You know what I
I ain't in the
mean?
butt. But your shit came in. I ain't gonna lie. You came in here with the energy. It's up and it's stuck with you.
family,
It's up. I see
I'm
it.
just letting you know this is where we at, family. I mean, this how
Can
family.
you cook?
You know
Can
what I
you
mean?
cook?
Can I cook? When you talking about crack or you talking about collard greens? I cook it all. Shit.
Don't do it.
Don't ask that. You know what I mean?
Don't
I was the best crack cook uptown. 25 keys a day. Oh, you talking about collard greens? Oh, you know I'm a culinary arts cook because I took that while I've been locked up too. So I'm a surf safe cook and all that. So I cook anything. You know what I mean? In the lab or in the kitchen. I mean, whatever it is.
I bought you a live.
You know what I mean? So I'm just letting you know what it is. I mean, I cook. You know what I mean? I cook. You know what I mean? And I love to
Since you
cook.
Jamaican, can you cook the food that we're used to?
Come on, son. Where you think I chat about? First, you don't mind to teach me how to cook. And if you don't know how to cook, then you can't grab a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They say what them say, true a man, to get to a man is true in belly.
Yeah.
That's how you get to a woman, through our belly. Then our legs open up. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, let's keep it real, son. You know what I mean? Don't ask questions you don't want the answers
I
to.
want all answers.
I'm going to give it to you. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, I cook.
So let's talk about the time that you went from Jamaica to America. Bring us back that day. Like, do you remember that day, like when you had to go? Because you said you were 7 when you left Jamaica,
Yeah.
yes?
Do I?
Can you walk us through that day?
That was my first pair of shoes at 7.5 years old. They gave me a pair of shoes. I never had a pair of shoes in my life. I walked around barefoot. I did what we call buck our toe, where we hit our toe on the sidewalk and just walking down the street. We call it my buck your toe. If y'all Jamaica, you know me, I chop about you buck your toe. My buck me toe enough time. And them give me a piece of shoes for go wear top I go up on an airplane. You know what I mean? I can't walk in a shoes. I can't even spell shoes. You know what I say? But they put me in some shoes that tell me something I got foreign. You understand what I say? All I'm waiting for is my grandfather kept telling me they got money tree in America. So I'm trying to go pick some money off the tree, man. So, I didn't see the tree, so I created it in Harlem. You know what I mean? And I started picking off the tree. I made my own tree. You know what I mean? Made sure everybody ate from my roots.
That was a good tree, bro.
You know what I mean?
Good year.
And that's why 26 years later, my name still ring. I just shut the up. But my name ain't never laid down. I just shut the up. That's why you don't know who I am. But now that you, hold on, son. You know, but now that you blessed to get this first joint, believe me, you gonna know who I am. I laid down for 26. You know what I mean? Like I said, they all know me, son. I mean, like I said, you know, my paperwork speak for it. You know what I mean?
I mean that day, when you went to the airport, like your grandparents brought you there, they sent somebody to, like that whole day. I want to know if you remember that clearly.
Hell yeah, I remember that day. How could you forget the first day that you put on a pair of shoes? You know what I mean? Come on,
was it
dog.
scary being on the plane the first time at the time? Do you remember it?
Nah, I was just excited to go see the money tree, man. That's all they talked about was the money tree in America. I was excited like a motherfucker. I couldn't sit still. You know what I mean? As soon as we got there, I ran off the plane. First one off the plane. That motherfucking wind hit me January 15th on Martin Luther King birthday. That hit my chest like a knife. You know what I mean? First time feeling cold air. You know what I mean? Took my breath away.
You by
know
yourself
what I mean?
or you
Nah,
got,
I was with my whole family, 6 brothers and sisters. Okay. My mother and father left from back in the 60s, from like 66, 67, you know what I mean, to come up here to save money to bring up my brothers and sisters. And they brought all of us up. That's why I love her to death. You know what I mean? She ain't bring just one. She brought all 6 of us up. And we all went to a one-room bedroom in Hackensack, New Jersey. And you know what I mean? It was just so hectic. I wound up in the Bronx with my older brother and cousins, and Brooklyn, and, you know, wound up in Herb Gates, and, you know what I mean, and created who this is today. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said, I ain't proud of it, you know what I mean? But I survived it. I lost my brother during the struggle. I could name 50 names off the top of my head that I lost during the struggle. So I'm proud to be here to talk to Big Flip the Script today. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it real, son. You know what I mean?
I got you. G.
So you in Jersey, you said, moving and shaking, moving around, Bronx. What's next for you guys? Like, for you, what happened for you next?
I mean, like I said, you know, the Bronx, from the Bronx, I went into Herb Gates. Roaring Harlem speaks on that. Then I hit Brooklyn, you know what I mean, with the Gully Posse, the brothers from back in the hood. That's how I ran back into Scarface, Scully, and Danny Bones, and, you know, and the rest of them. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, we did what we did. You know what I mean? But one thing for sure, two things for certain, you know, I was raised on love. You know what I mean? And love don't mean money. You know what I mean? Love don't mean materialistic. I mean, it might be 8 of us sleeping on a little bed the same size that I slept on for myself for 26 years. You know what I mean? A little bunk bed like a bunk bed. 8 of us slept on that one bed. As long as we got our back on it, you know what I mean? Where our back was comfortable. You know what I mean? Where our back was comfortable. You know what I mean? We had love.
But you didn't start moving around crazy at 7 though. You came. You was still young.
I never moved. I don't think I ever moved around crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I just survived.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you know what came with survival.
Crazy as far as the selling drugs and all that later on. But like, what were you doing at 7, 8 years old?
Pushing weed through a hole in the weed spot.
At 7 to 8?
Yeah. You know what I mean? When a motherfucker ring the bell, they got a hole in the cylinder, and you push the weed through the door. You understand what I'm saying? You take your money, you pull the rubber band back up, you tie the shit up, you go about the business, you sit down, take 2 puffs of the spliff, and wait for the next customer. You know what it is. I mean, that's how I learned. I mean, I was on the inside, you know what I mean, doing the bagging the weed, you know what I mean, and, you know, the day-to-day behind the door where it was safe for somebody my age. You understand what I'm saying? But I learned how to, you know, put numbers together and read scale, and you understand what I'm saying? And, you know, how to make things happen and, you know, to make numbers increase and elevate.
What about school in Harlem? Like, you went to school out there?
Dude,
what about school?
Dude, I just told you, I couldn't read or write, son. I wasn't playing when I told you. I didn't learn to read till I went to ADX. When I got locked up in 1993, I couldn't read. When I stood in front of the judge, I knew I was getting life. You know what I mean? But I knew I had to get life because I wasn't going to tell on nobody. You know what I mean? So what I asked the judge when he asked me to speak was to send me somewhere so I could further my education. And I made him a promise, send me somewhere where I could further my education. I'm going to come back in front of you a better man, you know what I mean? And whatever amount of years it take, and then we talk from there, Your Honor. You know what I mean?
Told him that.
Yeah, and that's what I did. Then Donald Trump signed this shit in where they helped the people that was programming, and being that I done learned to read, write, got my GED, went to college, became a certified cook, electrician, plumber, you understand what I'm saying, mechanic, you understand? I learned all that from the government. I didn't let them just take my time away from me. You know what I mean? I took the education they had to give me. You understand what I'm saying? And then I went back to the judge and I said, man, this is what I did. I think I'm ready to go home. You know what I mean? And I became a mentor where I helped a lot of young brothers get out. You understand what I'm saying? I got over 3,500 hours of psychological training. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I understand why I was up. You know what I mean? I thought my upness was normal. You know what I mean? I thought it was normal to teach my son to cook, crack, and smoke weed. You know what I mean? Well, that was normal to me. I'm not going to sit here faking like come in here, act like 2020, they knew how to be a parent. I ain't know how to be no parent. I knew how to survive. And I was teaching my kids how to survive because that's the only way I knew how to survive. You know what I mean? I used to sell big bamboo papers on Tremont and University. When they come out the trade at 7, 8 years old, I'm standing out there selling joints for $1 a piece. You know what I mean? Because, I had to hustle to get $1. So when I had kids, I said, I got to teach them how to get $1. And that's the only way I knew how. Until I got locked the and shut the up. You know what I mean? That's the key thing. I shut the up. You know what I mean? So niggas come on here with excuses why they did this. They mama, they brother, they dog, they uncle. They chased my mom all around the country. And my mother told me, baby, don't worry about me. Just shut the up. I'm going to dodge him. I'm going to dodge him. I got him. Just shut the up. You know what I mean? And that's the way I was raised. You know what I mean? So you ain't going to see another nigga like me. That's why they got this bracelet on me. They know I'm a citizen. I've been here since I was 7 years old. I broke every fucking law they had. But still, I'm a citizen because my father became a citizen when I was under 17. You know what I mean? But yet they got this bracelet on me. I haven't even reported to nobody yet.
And could have came home.
You know?
But they was too busy asking him, just tell us about the murders. We'll give you 10 years.
You know what I mean?
But he would never talk about nothing.
My brother got killed in it. I mean, this shit is real. I was ready to fall on my sword for this game, as y'all call it. But this is my life. This is the life that I was raised in. You know what I mean? I didn't choose it. I was raised in it. You know what I mean? And this is the way I was brought up to handle it. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When them peoples come, shut the fuck up. Whatever they give you, they give you. You fight, you go to appeal, you get out. If you don't get out, you die in prison or you die an honorable man.
Live to see a better day as long as you be quiet.
Who took you under the wing at a young age? Because
my brother and my cousin.
They were selling weed and stuff like that.
And they brought me into work for them.
And then at what age did you start to go on to yourself or advance yourself?
Man, to be honest, man, it was late because I was so loyal to them. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted to work for them, even when I could have worked for myself. But, my cousin retired, went down to Florida, you know what I mean? Big shout out, you know what I mean? You already know who you is and the 20 kids, you know what I mean? But my cousin then went down to Florida, retired, and my brother got locked up October 1st, 87 when I was doing time in Jersey. You know what I mean? So now I'm on my way out. You know what I mean? My two mentors ain't there no more, so I had to survive on my own. You know what I mean?
What you mean doing time in Jersey? What happened?
I mean, I was out in Jersey. I mean, I was selling coke in Jersey, robbing houses, dude, whatever. You know what I mean? If it was $1, I was going to get it. You know what I mean? If it made $1, I was going to do it. I done did house invasions. I done did burglaries. I done did it all under the sun. That's why my jacket fucked up, and that's why I'm sitting here with this monitor on. But it don't matter. I'm a citizen now, so what I did. You got citizens that did worse than I did. Right. You know what I mean? So I mean, it is what it is. So I did my time when I came out of jail in Jersey. I shot across the bridge, got me my pistol, and went up 54th Street. You know what I mean? And I made my claim and made my name. You know what I mean? And did what I had to do. Then after that, I said, everybody going up to Washington Heights, that's where the money at. Let me go up there. I done got shot up 4 times up there, jumped off 6-story building. Let me get my motherfucking money. But y'all go on and read a Roaring Harlem, because all that is in there. You know what I mean? Just so you know what it is. You know what I mean?
Where they get it at?
Huh?
So you want us to read the book of Roaring Harlem?
I don't want you to read the book. You need to read the book. I don't want you to read. I don't give a fuck what you do. But I'm saying if you want to know who I am and you want to know the rest of this motherfucking story, my life is bananas. You know what I mean? I mean, I survived it. I lost my brother who was like my twin. You know what I mean? I got sentenced September 15th, 1994. I got sentenced. You know what I mean? After I took my life sentence, they knew if they brought my brother in, I would have been free because they took me to Virginia for a Virginia case that I had nothing. My co-defendant testified they don't even know me. I don't even know my co-defendant. They testified at trial. I don't know that. That nigga, a man from New York, he got all the money in New York, but we can't talk to that. I sell 20 keys or better. You buying 20 keys, come call me. Wasn't nobody in Virginia buying 20 keys. You know what I mean? Buying 1 or 2 keys, half keys, like that. My brother dealt with that. God bless the dead. You understand what I'm saying? So when I went to trial, only thing that saved me is that the agent that ran the joint, he got on the stand because he wasn't allowed in the courtroom during the trial. So by the time they put him on 2 weeks later and they asked him who was I and what my role was, he said, oh, no, that's the man from New York. He ain't got nothing to do with down here. So my judge asked him, well, I had over 100 witnesses said that they bought keys and half a keys and 9 ounces from him. And the agent saved me. He said, nah, they lying. A nigga down here can't deal with him. He sold 20 kilo duffel bags. I started to name the duffel bag boys. If you wasn't my 20 keys or better when I hit the highway, I wasn't talking to you. Put all your money together and bring your money for these 20 keys, and then you deal with your little asshole homies, so I ain't got to worry about killing you dumb motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Take these 20 keys, go about your business, so y'all get all your little crumbs together and bring your crunions, and then we deal like that. And I'm going to deal with one motherfucker, and if you act up, I'm going to deal with you.
How did you get into selling keys, though?
Because I went up to Washington Heights. I told you I've been shot up there. You know what I mean? I got shot up 4 times, jumped off 6-story building, Rita ruined Harlem again. But like I said, I'm going to keep telling you because that's where it's all at. You know what I mean? I can't give you the game, son. You got to pay for it. You understand what I'm saying?
Respect.
The game is to be sold, not told.
I get it.
I'm here giving you the best that I can give you. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Read the book, and I got 20 more books behind it because my joint is connected to everybody. I'm the first one that put Mob Style with AZ on the stage. You understand what I'm saying? Up in Club 2000. Everybody's first was up in Club 2000. I brought Club 2000 to make it everyone's first because I wanted to give the people back something because I made so much from them.
Everyone like who? I seen some names online. I seen like you had Tupac in there. I seen like, you know.
Man, I had Tupac, I had Diddy, I had Latifah, I had Dre, Snoop, Andre Harrell, Russell Simmons. You understand what I'm saying? Redman, Method Man. You understand what I'm saying? Mary J. Blige. Man, I could go on all motherfucking night. Biz Markie. That was my DJ. All the DJs had to come through me. All this bullshit they got going on now about rappers and entertainers and all that dumbass shit. That was when I was out there, that was the era of the drug dealer. I set the trend. When I went and bought a brand new BMW and blew that body out for $80,000, everybody else wanted one. Couldn't afford it, but they dreamed about it. They went crying to their record label. They want more money. You know what I mean? So they could look like Unique. You know what I mean? I'm keeping it like it is. You know what I mean? I didn't go buy one car. I bought 5. If I go buy a Benz, I want 5 different colors in the Benz. So it matched my outfit. I shouldn't have to change my clothes to match my car.
And all of them got the toasters in it, too.
You know what I mean? Everything got the stash in it. Like I said, everything about me real. I got my transcripts. And like I said, the streets still speak about me. Ain't nothing fake. I talk that shit because I am that shit. You know what I mean? That's why I came in here letting you know I ain't got room for the If you want to talk, we going to talk. You know what I mean? And we going to build from there. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I go to the dealer, I mean, I got the BMW. I told him to blow the back out. I want 16-inch rims on the back, 12-inch rims on the front. You understand what I'm saying? I want the joint lift up 4 inches off the ground, then drop back another 2 inches so that when I hit the corner, this shit ain't going to turn around because I'm going to go 100, 150 trying to get away from the police. And Miss Cologne, you know what I mean? Big shout out to the Fed agent, you know what I mean? That spent her whole career trying to catch me. You know what I mean? Wow. She chased me down many corners. I done bust that bitch ass getting away from her. You know what I mean? Because everything had motherfucking Bavarian Motor Works in it. You know what I mean? I mean, like I said.
Every from Harlem that was getting some money.
You ask anybody about me, I just shut the fuck up. That's why my name was down and niggas respected me enough to keep quiet. And I want to give a big shout out to my man Gangster Lou that ain't here. That's my brother. Me and Lou go way back. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, like I said, Mob Style, the whole crew, paid in full, that everybody look up to and worship. That's family. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you know, like I said, I do what I do, man. You know what I mean? I do what I do and it is what it is. You know what I mean? If a nigga don't like it, motherfuck you. You know what I mean? I'm that real Harlem from 88 and I'm back out here in 2020 and motherfuck you and suck my dick if you don't understand where I'm coming from. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But ain't no disrespect, ain't geared at nobody. It's just geared towards the suckers and the busters that got a complaint.
Yo.
You go out there, do 26 motherfucking years. I did 5 years in ADX. Shut the fuck up. Every time they took me out the piss, it took 5 motherfucking police to handcuff and shackle me just for me to pull my dick out the piss. What the I'm gonna do with handcuffs and shackles on? I need 10 goddamn police to go to a rec yard.
That's the underground prison.
Yeah, that's where they got El Chapo. They built that joint to see if they could fuck a nigga mind up. So before they started putting white people and Mexicans and cartels in it, they put niggas like me from the crack era. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna even give you this one. That's why Big Gene Deal talk about that joint. We down there in ADX. You understand what I'm saying? When the Tupac and Biggie bullshit going on, California acting like they got an attitude. No disrespect to California, love them to death. But niggas acting like they attitude. So I push up on, yo, what's up? I mean, yo, you gonna die for this? You know what I mean? Because you bringing me into something. I don't give a fuck what them doing on the street. I got life. I'm trying to get out of jail. You know what I mean? So you let me know if me and you got to beef, because right now I'm ready to take yours, or you got to take mine. But we not gonna walk around here gritting because I'm from the East and you from the West. What them doing on the street? That's that free world. He got so scared. He told me straight up, man, they trying to kill Biggie, man. Them go out, they gonna kill him. You know what I mean? So I went and got on the phone. I called my girl, told her to call Big G and let Big G know, yo, tell Diddy and niggas don't go out there. You know what I mean? Don't go out there. Niggas getting ready. They put a hit on them. Nigga. This shit is real. Nigga. Don't go out there. You know what I mean? And Gene told them they ain't listening. Shit happened, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? But I tried to warn the brothers. You know what I mean? Because we all from the town. You know what I mean? So I'm just letting you know that, you know, I done been through hell. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not supposed to be sitting on this couch. I know I'm not supposed to be sitting on this couch.
I ain't think that I was gonna be seeing my nigga.
No one thought there was
couch.
there's niggas now that's looking at this, that's saying, I can't believe that nigga home.
Yeah.
Not that crazy. I know Unique not home. I'm telling you what niggas is saying. Niggas got to see this to believe it. That's why I said I'm gonna go down with my man Bootsy. You know what I mean? I got to see it. Unique can't be home. Not after all that nigga done did. You know what I mean?
So, what do you? Because you saying get the book of Raw in Harlem, right? To read it, and I believe I respect the hustle. What are you going to give us? You're not going to tell us how you got shot because it's in the book. You're not going to tell us why you jumped off the 6 stories because it's in the book. Yes.
Key word is I got shot. I got jumped off the roof. Everything else from survival. End of story. Whatever else you niggas want to put on it, y'all put on it. I was surviving. You know what I mean? And I survived, so I'm not mad at nothing that I did. And that's why now I can say I regret a lot of things I did. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of things I regret. But I survived. End of the day, I survived. I'm here. I got a voice. You know what I mean? Like I said, I lost my brother, man, 2 weeks after I got life. And you know how they told me my brother was dead? They came and brought me, same night when you sit at the table, they sat at the table just like that, and they had a chain on the door, a little hook on the floor. And another hook on the thing. They put my shackles to the floor so I couldn't move. Then they shackled my hands on the desk so I couldn't move. And then they laid 8 by 10 color pictures of my brother with his brains blown out. And told me the fox hunt is over. And they stared at me and wanted a reaction.
Still trying to break you.
And I told them, y'all, at least you ain't got to do Tommy a stinking cage. Could I go back to my cage? You know what I mean? Once I made it to my cage, I got on my knees and I cried like a baby. I'm not afraid to say that I cried. But I would never let the devil see me cry. I would never in my life, because my mother would never rest in peace if the devil saw me cry. Because that mean they broke me. That mean that she didn't do a good job.
Wow. So, when he got killed, it was because he's still in the streets at the time. Your brother.
Yo, go get the book, son. You want a lot, son. Go get the book, son. Family, go get the book, son. No, man, yeah, he was still in the street because, like I said, that's all we knew was the streets.
That's all you knew.
You know what I mean? I'm not even going to sit here and fake. You know what I mean? That's all we knew. You know what I mean? And that's how I survived. That's how I ate, and that's why I did what I did. You know what I mean? And like I said, 20 years ago, I would have said, yeah, I'm proud of what I'm doing. But 26 years later, after being away from my sons and my daughters, missing their birthdays, their football practice, getting pictures of them, some I didn't even talk to. Some think they hate me because I ain't been there. And I ain't seen them in 26 years because their mother kept them away from me. And let them tell it, I abandoned them. You know what I mean? But I take the responsible for that because I'm the gangster. I chose to do what I did. You know what I mean? So I wear the burden of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know where I'm going is a little deeper than where y'all normally go, but I'm taking you in the mind of a gangster. This is what it is after 26 years. And that's why I'm doing my podcast where I said I want my own footage. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to exploit how much drugs I sold, keys I sold. I want to know the pain that I went through. You know what I mean? 26 years away from my kids. Me trying to make up to my daughter that I don't even know. That I haven't seen a picture for in 26 years. Last time I saw her, she was 8 months. Now she's a grown woman, 28. Tell me how that'll make you feel in your heart. And you can't, because I can't even explain it. And they can't explain it, so they don't even know how to deal with me. You know what I mean? I don't know how to deal with them, but I'm trying because I feel it's worth it in their minds.
Yo, so real quick, so far through the interview, I heard you mention your moms a lot, but what was Pops at? What was his?
Pops was there. Pops was a good nigga. He left my mom, so I think he's some shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Anybody that
Gotcha.
crossed moms is some shit. I don't give a When moms is right, when moms is wrong, she's right. You know what I mean? Nigga leave moms, you some shit. I'm ready to kill you because you left moms. You know what I mean? Bottom line, moms is my world. I don't give a fuck what moms do. Moms is right. So any nigga out there listening, talk about your mother, I'm going to tell you straight up, motherfucker you, because you got to respect your mother. I don't care what your mother do. You respect your mother. I done sold crack, and I done sold crack with that their mamas was crackheads. You understand? And they love their mothers. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. When you get older, you help your mother.
That's right. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? When she fall victim or weak to crack, heroin, or whatever, prostitution, whatever. Yo, I'm going to give you one. My mother told me she had so much of us back-to-back, 6 of us back-to-back. The last 4 was back-to-back, 2 before that. Then she took a 2-year break. My mama said she took a motherfucking flat rock, 2 flat rocks to put between her titties in Jamaica to press her titties together to get milk out to feed me and my baby brother. How could I hate a woman like that? How could I let you disrespect a woman that took 2 flat rocks to push milk out of a dry titty? I know all this I'm saying too real. I'm really ready to end this because I don't think your people ready for this. You know what I mean? They used to in here talking about how much cars and drugs they had and all this foolery. But I'm letting you know what this life is about. You know what I mean? I survived that. You know what I mean? And now I got my son since I've been locked up. I sent my GED home. I sent home all my certificates. I sent home my 3,500 hours of psychological training where I'm a mentor and a suicide companion. I'm a certified cook, not just crack. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you know, electrician, plumber, all that. I sent all that to my kids. And right now, my son is a respiratory specialist in Hackensack Hospital.
Oh, wow.
That's big.
My other daughter, she worked for, what's that shit? Target. She ordered for 1,800 stores nationwide. From me sending home my certificates, letting them know if old gangster like me could go to school, you can't tell me one reason why you can't take your motherfucking ass to school.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? And that's what my podcast gonna be like. So I ain't in you niggas lane. Cause I'm not trying to exploit all this old shit that them niggas want to hear. I know they want to hear all that gangster shit. You know what I mean? But that don't mean I done been there, done that. Like I said, you know, the homie Bootsy, you know what I mean? Gangster Lou, the whole town would tell you about my gangster life. You know what I mean? I don't have to tell you about that because I laid it down so official. You understand what I'm saying? That it became a resume, a blueprint. And that's why you got to get a Ruin Harlem.
That's why I was saying when I was up here last time, I'm really up here to set the record straight. No disrespect to the homie, you know who I'm talking about, but it's about setting the blueprint for the up and coming. So I had to set the record straight so they'll understand what it really was, not hear fake stories.
Right.
So when you hear the real story now, we getting ready to put the rest of the foundation together so we can go out and speak to colleges and all, because we've been through this for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The time he got locked up, I got locked up first.
Damn, I was getting ready to bail him out for $500,000.
He was coming to bail
And then they grabbed me
on a $500,000 bail. I'm sitting there waiting. He went and talked to my moms. I had them on the phone. He talked to her. I'm coming to talk to her the next day. Next day, I'm calling my mom. Did Unique get there? He ain't get here yet, baby. I don't know what's going on.
They bagged me.
Only way I know that he got locked up, because it's called Route 13 coming from New York to Virginia. I'm doing a movie about that, actually. But they was railroading a bunch of black and Spanish people once you come across the line in Maryland.
Delaware. Yeah, Delaware into Maryland.
And Maryland.
Yeah.
They grabbed one of my homies. I knew plenty of to tell on. I was facing 60 years. And I did the same thing with his shirt starting to say, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
That's why I got home. But how I knew he was locked up, because my man said, yo, that's crazy. What happened to your boy Unique? I said, what you mean? I'm waiting for this to bail me out. It was like the feds jumped out, Miss Cologne jumped out on him, but he done. I was like, word? No wonder. He was coming to give me a $500,000 bail. And like, that's real talk. Like I tell you, anything I tell you is going to be real talk. Talked to my mom, he was on the way, and he got bagged. So we doing this to build the foundation for the up-and-coming kids that's coming up. That drug shit is over with. That shit ain't really about nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I made it my business to bring it here, because you showed me love bringing me the first time with no hesitation. So this like my big brother. So with a guy like him that this serious, I know the platform that y'all got gonna reach, because y'all got a young youth. So this what he's saying right now need to be heard, because we getting ready to do college tours, we getting ready to do all that, and that's what it's about. And by the way, his book is on Amazon, so people know to go get it.
And I'm not plugging the book. I'm just telling you the facts. This bananas. If you don't like it, bring it to me. I'll burn it. You know what I mean? I burn it on YouTube.
So, we first heard about you. I heard about you through a lady that was on here named Miss T. You know her?
Yeah, black.
Yeah, she said that she dated you back in the day. Yeah.
I mean, if she want to call it that, that's my baby. But she know how it is. You know what I mean? I wasn't a dateable type. You know what I mean? So we gonna stop that. That's why she broke the wheels, broke the car windows, and carried on. I love black to death. My little sister Boop is my heart. That's my street sister. I done left my real family alone and dealt with my street family. Boop my heart, black my heart. You know what I mean? But they already know, man. I wasn't no tameable like that.
So you was
you know what I mean?
you was that
I was
smooth.
about to say.
I mean, you was that smooth that because she said she was around. She was
Smooth.
I mean, she said she was moving and shaking, and she said that you were one of her pieces, or she was one of your pieces. I don't know how it goes.
God, if I'm saying I can never be a piece and it can't be smooth, we ain't dealing with none of that bullshit. I'm just letting you know what it is. You know what I mean?
She broke your windows
You know
out,
what I mean?
right? Yeah.
So you already know what the
Nah,
was doing.
I'm asking.
So you already know the pipe game was tight. You know what I mean? Let's keep it real. She said it. You know what I mean? I ain't saying nothing they already said because I ain't going to kiss and tell. You know what I mean? That's my baby. Make sure y'all get a row in Harlem. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And make sure you get Harlem heroin. You know what I mean? And the new joint she got called Snitch. That's my people's. But she already know. I mean, can't claim me, man. Do I look like a tameable?
Nah.
Come on, man. Do I look like a tameable? You know what I mean?
Nah. So, how did you get the name? So what's Mecca Hall? Mecca Audio. What is that? Where did that name come from?
Because I had a store called Mecca Audio that I opened up because there was so much DJs that didn't have nowhere to go. I used to go down to S&S, the Zodiac, you know what I mean, with Star Child. You understand what I'm saying? Kid Capri and them late night, Big T-Rod, you know what I mean, bouncing. Willie with Willie over there at S&S Garage, you know what I mean? And the DJs had nowhere to go. There was nowhere to represent them. You understand what I'm saying? So I opened up Mecca Audio, put 2 turntables in a mixer in the window, through the neon lights, put the map of Africa, and I represent this shit as the black town. You know what I mean? As the Mecca, because it's the Mecca for the music. I'm showing you how you're supposed to respect the DJs. You know what I mean? Because this is when the rappers was coming back in, when they was forgetting about the DJs. First was Grandmaster Flash, you know what I mean? And Theodore, you know what I mean? And Bambaataa, you know what I mean? But then now it's Big Daddy Kane, it's Bismarck. You know what I mean? It's all these names that, you understand what I'm saying? That I had to say like, yo, man, motherfucker that shit. These my when I go in the motherfucking joint at night, them rappers don't do nothing to make me feel good. These DJs make me feel good. You know what I mean? They play the shit on the head. They scream a name. They scream a broad's name. You understand what I'm saying? And they make it feel good.
Shout out to the DJs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big
No
shout out
doubt.
to the DJs. So I opened up Mecca Audio for the DJs to have somewhere to go. So now if you come up from Queens, you come up to Mecca Audio, and you pull up 152nd and 8th Avenue.
Yeah, it's making the mixtapes right there on the spot.
Right there on the spot. Whatever DJ you want, you let me know. I'll
Ron
beep
G, Ron G, they coming. Ron
And they-
G was one of the
And they
main
coming,
ones.
you give me a list of all your homies, you know what I mean? And either I shout them out or the DJ just shout them out. You know what I mean? So I might say something like big shout out to Big Flip and the crew. You know what it is, all the way from Queens doing what we do with Twin. Bimmy and the whole 9 yards. You know how we do. Harlem, baby. Queens, shout out. You know what I mean? And they get on the tape. Now when you're on Jamaica Ave driving and they hear your name calling, they say, oh, shit, them niggas know Unique and Mecca Audio. So now you a star. You know what I mean? So I charge $100, for a tape. I get the original, I give you yours, and I sell the balance. I got over 5,000 tapes with all this that I'm telling you sitting in my house that I preserved.
Oh, you got to put that up somewhere, man.
No, I'm getting ready to do
That's
something.
gonna
Dude, I
be
only been out
crazy.
40 days, man.
No.
I just refused to lay down because I want that 100 million. You know what I mean? So once I get the 100 million by the island, you know what I mean? Mom's still alive, gonna throw her in St. Kitts or something, give her own little island somewhere. You know what I mean? Then I could lay back and play with all these little tapes and his fandangles. I got over 10,000 pictures from Club 2000.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Video footage and all that,
what
man.
G saying, that's memorabilia though, like real official memorabilia.
You know?
man.
So when I speak, I got pictures to back it up. Like my man Mo, where my man Mo at? Mo Grime. You understand what I'm saying? He just did a joint at Mecca Audio, Unique Mecca Audio at the YouTube joint where he spoke on when he met Tupac. You know what I mean? That green is my favorite color. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, the homie right there, all them tell you. When I went shopping, when I throw my parties, when Dapper Dan got knocked and went to jail, all his Africans, spread out, ain't had nowhere to go. My man Shala took them up in Maryland. Y'all need to do a show with Shala. Shala took over in Maryland, over there on Marlboro Pike. You know what I mean? And he took the Africans down there and started doing the same thing Dapper Dan was doing, but instead of just the heavy jackets, being it was hotter in Maryland, he started making 3-piece suits and things like that. So I used to go down there and I get all the homie sizes and I make mad clothes. I might get 30 outfits made. You know what I mean? 10, 15 grand every week. I'm spending 15 grand and nigga ain't had to go sell no drugs. Never offered them to sell no drugs. Nigga ain't had to do nothing. As long as you loyal with me, I got you. I'm selling 20 keys a day. I don't need you to do nothing. But just have fun with me.
Was that
you know what I mean?
2000 time?
And that's what it is.
That's who did it?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's who did that.
You know what I mean? So I make sure I got the gear. You know what I mean? When they come to the Mecca, they pick out their outfits, their size, and that Wednesday night we run up there and we did us. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I gave back to the community.
When did that
sized up.
When did that chant come into place? The AOI chant.
Man, that came into play when I was on 54th Street. You know what I mean? When, you know, they first got TNT. You know what I mean? Used to come around. So, you know, over there, Unique, the police coming. Hey, stop yelling my motherfucking name. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just say L. And I'm going to say all right to let you know I hear you. And get the fuck out of here with that dumb ass shit. You know what I mean? Unique, the police. Stop saying my motherfucking name. Because now the police going to say who the fuck is Unique.
Right.
So then started yelling, L. Then we got Big Todd 1. They got the big distinctive voice. And we got my the other homie, Sean Moe. You know what I mean? From Polo Ground, got the real distinctive voice. Ew. So when they yell that, niggas know to come out. So when we at the club, niggas get on the mic at Club 2000, Willie's Lounge, Ebony Lounge, Savoy Manor, you know what I mean? Authors Round Table, wherever we was at partying during that time. Nigga get on the mic and start yelling, Ew. Everybody know that y'all, all right, come to the front, Unique, and make an audio in the house. Now they know we gonna toss it up.
What made you buy the club?
Well, my man that owned the joint got knocked. You know what I mean? One of them got knocked, and he was selling the joint. And I used to go up there, and they had no problem with me in there, because I'm damn near Dominican. You know what I mean? I done spilled my blood up there from back in the early 80s. So, you know, I'm going up there, and, you know, I brought a couple of my homies with me one time, and they looked at it a little funny. You know what I mean? So I tell them, you know, I buy this joint and rearrange this whole shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? I bring my people up here because they with me. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna say name little bitch ass bitch about, nah, my man own it. I don't give a who own it. I'm gonna buy it. So not only did I buy it, I changed the name from Frago to Club 2000 because I was doing New Millennium. That's where 2000 came from. So I went to Miami, brought the bitches up from Miami. I know you don't like me saying bitches. It is what it is, motherfucker. But anyway, I brought the bitches from the strip club up in Miami, Atlanta, Tennessee, Chattanooga, and every goddamn where else. And had New York girls versus Miami girls, New York girls versus Atlanta girls. And you know what I mean? Luke Skywalker girls and the whole nine. You know what I mean? I introduced New York to something different. I let the same Dominican that had a goddamn attitude with my people being up there, let them know I own this now. You know what I mean? And now you're not allowed in here. So get your ass out. You know what I mean?
I used to love
let's keeping it real like it is. You know what I mean?
Let him in, let her in. Come on.
And that's it.
We was doing whatever we wanted to do.
So you got this. You got the store, Mecca Audio. You got the club,
the studio. Yeah.
You got the studio. As
Yeah,
well.
it's a studio in the mixtape spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have, and then at the time you're still in the street getting money.
Yeah.
Were you? They was just watching you. Were you told on? Like, what was your downfall?
Dude, listen, man. I ain't had a worry in the world in New York City, man. Everybody was paid. Everybody needed to be paid was paid. They couldn't touch me in New York. I'm selling 25 keys a day in Washington Heights. I had no worry in the world. Mwah. I love New York. You know what I mean? They came and got me for some shit my brother got into in Virginia because his partner got killed. When murders come, feds come, and then they get raggedy and expect to tell. So my brother got caught up with some shit. I was hitting him off in Virginia, so they put me down as his boss, expecting me to go down there and flip and come back to New York and finish running my club and be a rat like the rest of the niggas that got a little pressure put on them. You know what I mean? And I ain't do it. So I wound up doing my 26.
Your life.
You know what I mean? 26. Life plus 20. I did the 20 for the money laundering, and then I got time cut for the life because I helped a lot of young brothers go home. But that's because they know my cockiness and the way I talk. They know I'm official, so when I speak, you know what I mean? I'm speaking facts. So they listen, and it helped to keep them on.
You seem like an honest man, you know, and so I'm gonna ask you a question. You probably don't talk about other people, but you know, paid in full. How do you feel that the guy Alpo was home? Did you know him back in the days? Did you have any dealings with him back then?
Nah, I ain't had no dealings with him. You know what I mean? I ain't had no dealings with him at all because, like I said, I stay in my lane.
Respect.
If you buying 20 keys, come holler. I don't give if your name is Alpo, Jack Doe, or whoever. Come bring that money. and we gonna deal with business. You know what I mean? You gonna respect me and how I run my business. I'm gonna respect you. You know what I mean? But like I said, I ain't crossed paths with him because he didn't need 20 keys from me for whatever reason. But we didn't cross paths in that way. And as far as him being home, I mean, alhamdulillah, everybody deserved to be home. I wouldn't wish my enemy to be in. The nigga that told on me, I'm not mad at. I don't want that nigga in jail. And I'm not even gonna sit here and say his name. You know what I mean? So nigga, you looking, you ain't never gonna worry about me putting you out there. You know you's a bitch, you know you's a rat, you know what the you did, you deal with it. He gotta put his head on the pillow and deal with his own demons at night. Respect. I deal with my own at night. You know what I mean? So what Alpo go through or the next man go through, you know what I mean? That's their own issue.
What do you mean go through?
I mean, whatever, when they lay their head down at night is what I mean what they go through.
There was rumors circulating, that's what upon me.
No, I don't deal with rumors, is what I'm saying, that if a man comfortable with his choices.
He has to deal with it.
If he's comfortable, I respect that.
Respect.
Because you got all types of people. You got all types of animals. God made everything. Everybody's not unique.
That's a good.
So I can't put my morals on the next.
That's a good one.
That's like the third one, bro.
Yeah.
He cool, man. He cool.
He cool, man.
You know, I'm just saying. I'm just giving it to the real, son.
I waited.
You know,
you want to get there from the beginning.
I know. Everybody ain't unique. That's it.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, so I can't put my morals in it up.
No, I respect that.
You know what I mean? I heard niggas talk, oh, they grabbed my mother, they grabbed my dog, they grabbed my cat, they grabbed my mother too. And my mother said, baby, don't worry about it, I'm going to run. You know what I mean? Just shut the You know what I mean? What? And she ran for 7 years till the statute of limitation ran out. Big shout out to my mom, Duke. She's still alive. And I'm still going to get it at Island. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, it is what it is.
Mom's a legend.
You know what I
mean? The person that told him, you seen that, I'll say his name. Is he a known person?
The person that what?
That told on you. You said, I'm not going to say your name.
Hell no. I'm the known.
No, I mean, but
I'm just giving it real. I'm answering your question.
Is he known, though?
Ain't a nigga known more than me.
Oh,
you know
my God.
So I'm letting you know what it is, son. You asked me a question. I'm giving you the answer.
You're going a little bit too far today.
You know what I mean? Listen, what I'm saying is I didn't need no help. So I didn't need no known to get me. I created didn't create me.
All right, but you know
what I mean?
Do the public know him?
You know what I mean?
Is it a name?
Nah, man, because like I said, dude, I didn't need no tough guys. You know what I mean? Because I know how to carry my own pistol and bust my own gun. And I took my own 4 bullets and jumped off my own 6-story building with my 4 bullets in me. You know what I mean? I take mines on my own. I don't need no help.
Who did you get along with back in the days?
Everybody. Everybody loved
Brooklyn,
Unique.
Queens, everywhere?
Everybody loved me. Like I said, beat me the whole 9, nigga, your whole family. Ask my Unique. Everybody loved Unique. Because when I come around, I tell niggas straight up, I don't give a who you beefing with, who you got, who fighting over what block. When you come to Club 2000, Mecca Audio, man, leave that bullshit alone. Right or wrong, family? Facts. You know what I mean? They come to Mecca Audio, all that dead. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have you come up there from Queens and niggas say you disrespected him on the mic on your show and now he want to get at you at my spot. No, me and you got beef. If you think you're going to touch Flip at my spot, you know where Flip at. Go see Flip. Don't come to my domain and f that up. Yeah, don't do it here.
Exactly.
And like I said, every nigga that know Unique Club 2000 Make Audio would tell you. There was never no problems. Listen, I encourage the fist fight.
When do we have a problem up in there?
You know what I mean? We never had a problem. Like, not once we ever had a problem. And you know, clubs, they had shooting and everything else in clubs. Never once had a problem in Club 2000. If a nigga want to fight, get in a beef, knuckle up, bring it on the stage, and we going to put 5,000 on the winner. You know what I mean? We ain't going to stop the music. And that's where my shank came from. Keep it going. Keep it going, beat his ass all mother night, but don't stop the music. If you stop the music over here, everybody over here that don't know what's happening is, they're going to start panicking and running.
Exactly.
So if the DJ stopped the music, he fired. Don't never take the needle off my music. If a fight, I love it. Matter of fact, let me put the DJ booth in the ceiling so I can see it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm telling you, they'll tell you, my booth was in the ceiling. When a fight, I want to see it. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell whoop his ass. And nobody know where the fight going on. No one even know what's going on. They say, man, Unique crazy. That nigga always talking. We don't even know if something really going on. But that's the way it's supposed to be. Because if a don't know what's going on, he gonna panic. That's how all them people died over there at that joint at City College when they had that big celebrity game. Nobody knew what was going on when they closed the door. So everybody panicked. I was there too. I'm not gonna get into that. But that's where I learned that.
People through the door.
They lost the air. You mean the Puffy party at the time?
Because when they closed
they lose the air, they closed the door and the people were stuck in the middle. I was helping
and they suffocated, like he said. Then they suffocated in there.
People suffocated from the middle of it.
You understand what I'm saying? But people panicked when the door closed, so people started running towards the door to get in. So the other people behind them just started running forward because they was running forward
They was getting
and didn't know where they was running to.
Right.
And they all ran into each other till they hit the wall. Now when they're on top of each other, you can't breathe because you got a body on top of you. Just like them black boys, them goddamn has been killing, them police been killing. What they been saying, I can't breathe.
So you don't want to talk about what happened that day? So.
No, we ain't gonna get into that, man. I mean, that's gonna go in my autobiography. I can't give you everything, dog. I mean, on the stretch of my man Bucci, I can't give you everything, dog. And Gangsta Lou spoke highly of you. You know what I mean? So you know,
shout out to Lou. But I'm saying you giving me a little bit. Got to give me something.
Dude, I just gave you more than enough. I done gave you more than I never even seen one of your interviews.
I'm gonna get it
but
out.
I know don't come here and give you what I'm giving
on.
you because you want to brag about. When, like I said, the streets talk. I don't have to tell you about 30 cars and 100 keys. The streets gonna tell you that.
What makes it? What's a drug kingpin then?
A drug kingpin is a that know how to run his empire, shut the up, rule with an iron fist, and respect everyone, all the way down the totem pole. Even that mule gets respect.
What about the net worth?
The net worth. I mean, come on, you got to get at least over 10 million. Anything under that really ain't. Right now, 10 million ain't. But back then, 10 million was something. You know what I mean? Because back then, you had many
Like
that barely singing 100,000. You know what I mean? And would tell you they was getting paid in full.
So you can say,
you know what I mean?
What the hell?
You know
That was a shot.
Man, ain't no stop. No, stop. I don't do shots. I'm just saying, act like, you know, dude,
Well,
listen.
that's a double entendre then.
I mean, whatever the you want to call it. I don't know that
Thank
fancy
you.
shit.
That's a double entendre. Thank you.
You know what I mean?
If it's not a shot, it's a double
Nah,
entendre.
yeah, I don't do shots.
It has double meaning to it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't look at it double meaning. I'm just telling you what it is. You know what I mean? Meaning, you know, do what they do. You understand what I'm saying? And a dude get 50,000 and he spent 40 to go buy a Mercedes-Benz 300E and can't even put rims on it until next week, but he done fucked up his re-up money. Now he coming to me, talking about he need a half a key on credit so that he can get the rims and pay his rent because he paid the 40,000 to buy the car. And I'm looking at him like, is you stupid?
How much money you made a week? Can you say that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I ain't gonna really get into all that, but I'm gonna just touch. Put it this way: I sold 25 keys a day in Washington Heights, and that's not counting the 330 keys that I sent to my brother down in Virginia. So you do the math. You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, my homies here, that's my man, that's my man. I've never put drugs in a man's hand and said, I need you to sell this. If a man came and said, yo, I'm trying to get some money and I want some drugs, I'm all for it because I'm a drug dealer. You know what I mean? But I'm not a pusher.
Do you talk about how you met your connect in your book, Ron Harlem?
Yeah, I got that in there. Make sure you grab that.
Yeah.
Make sure you grab
Was he
that.
Dominican? What was
You know what I
he?
mean?
What was
Yeah.
he?
I'm going to tell you, he's Dominican. Make sure you read that. But for real, in the autobiography, I'm going to give you the exclusive where I got with the Cali cartel and break down where the Cali cartel and the Medellin, you know what I mean, was beefing over Washington Heights. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother genre that y'all don't even know about.
I didn't know that. No.
I already know. But trust me, this shit bananas.
Wait, so in the book, you putting names and everything in there too?
Nah, son, never would I do that. I mean, know who's who and what's what.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Listen, I don't have to put Kenny Boo for you to know who Kenny Boo the fuck is. If you're from the town, you know what it is. And if you know me, you know what it is. Like I said, ain't no faking. All my documented in court documents and in street legacy. You know what I'm saying? I've been going damn near 3 decades and they still know who I am. And I made sure they kept my name quiet. And they still know who I am. I just didn't need to get to the judge and the prosecutor before I got out.
I see a cut on your face. How did that happen?
In Lumpar. You know what I mean? Dude cut me, ran to the lieutenant office. I mean, that's how they did it back then. You know what I mean? If they didn't want, dude paid me. I was, doing my thing on the compound. He didn't really want me there. He couldn't do nothing with me. So he paid another nigga that was, into the drugs and said, man, yo, cut unique. You know what I mean? And I'm going to give you these 3 grams. You understand what I'm saying? So he came up behind me, cut me, and ran to the lieutenant office and checked in. And I never saw him again because they did what they call a separatiste. You know what I mean? But he got 3 grams to go in a hole and shoot dope for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? But I wear my shit with honor because it's a part of the struggle. You know what I mean? I done gave out plenty of these. You know what I mean? When I got cut, first thing came to my mind is, damn, I finally got mine. You know what I mean? I wasn't mad. I was in shock like, damn, I tried to duck this motherfucker, man. And I finally got mine. And when I went in, I told the doctor, I said, hold up, it'll be easy. Get the white meat first and then worry about the brown meat on the outside. He's like, what you talking about? I said, man, get the white meat first, and then we get the meat on the outside. And that's why my shit's so neat. You know what I mean? Because I got 36 and 15 on the white meat and 15 on the brown meat. You know what I mean? But normally when you get ripped, they want to stitch up the brown meat and leave the white meat under there and that keloid up and look nasty. So when you see with keloids, you know what I mean? I got shit on my back. I'll show you what a keloid look like when they don't do the white meat. So I already had experience with this. You know what I mean? So I told Indian, yo, get the white meat, dog. Worry about the brown meat later. Let's get the white meat.
What's the keloid from on your back?
Stab wounds. You know what I mean? You know, war wounds.
When you was home or when you were in prison?
Not home. You know what I mean?
What happened?
You know what I mean? Like I said, read the book, son. You want a lot, man. Read the book. A Roaring Harlem, bananas. You know what I mean? It's bananas. You know what I mean? And I got colored pictures in there.
What was the guy in Harlem we was talking about that died from AIDS or something like that?
Fritz.
Fritz. You knew Fritz? Did you know him?
I knew Fritz. You know what I mean?
Do you remember him?
Of course I remember him. But like I said, I stay in my lane. Dude, it's so much drugs to be sold in New York that one nigga is not nothing. And you ain't got to worry about nothing. Like I said, I'm in Washington Heights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm selling 25 keys a day in Washington Heights. I just celebrated my 4th of July up there on 156th Street in Washington Heights 30 years later. I just took my man Mo Grime up there and Gigi right here from Queens. I just took them up there to my mother-in-law house up there. My mother, I ain't gonna say mother-in-law because she don't even have a daughter. But I call her my mother because she took me in as her child because I've been up there hustling since I was a little kid. Washington Heights, adopted me and I adopted them. You know what I mean? So there's no reason in hell another man from Dominica or anywhere could tell me that I can't eat on the streets of Washington Heights when I spilled blood with 4 bullets leaked out of me on these same streets.
Was it a Spanish person that shot you, a Dominican?
Oh, you already know, because I was robbing them. It's in the book. Read the book. You know what I mean? Read the book.
I'm going to read it, but I just want a teaser. I want to taste.
But you got more than enough to tease, because I know you ain't used to getting it real like this.
No, listen,
you know what I mean?
I'm taking it how I'm getting it.
Yeah, I'm
taking it how I'm getting. Yeah,
I'm giving it to you 100.
Thank you. I'm taking it how I'm receiving it. But at the same time, you're very slick the way you're talking it. I think it's a great.
Nah, I think slick before you go any further is a disrespect.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I'm just being me.
Well,
I'm just saying, everybody here that know this is unique.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the slickness, because a nigga slick when he feel he got something to gain.
Okay, got it.
Let me ask you this: what the you got to give me that I don't have already or can't get on my own?
All right. So the word slick
is disrespect.
It's disrespectful. So let's remove that word.
Okay, please.
You are very
articulate.
Articulate is a good word,
Clever.
but very unique with how you present your message. Very unique on how you protect your product. Very unique on how you promote your product, because what you're doing now, which is I think is dope, is that you're giving little and then you making sure you plug in the book, and then you saying you're not plugging in the book.
No, I'm not plugging in the book.
You said the book 17 times. We're gonna count it.
And I'm gonna say it 100 times.
And I'm gonna text it to you.
Certain things you want to know, go read the book.
Exactly. You said it 17 times.
You know what I mean? And 18. Go read the book. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So we can do this all goddamn night.
Yeah. You ain't listen, I'm learning. You ain't gonna win me neither.
No, I ain't trying to win.
It's not a competition, right?
I'm just giving it to you.
It's not a competition.
Yeah, I'm just giving it to you.
You're comfortable in your skin and you shut the up. Yes?
And that's it.
I know. How I knew you gonna say that?
You know what I mean? That's it.
I learned
because
quick.
That's what the hustle game is about. Just shutting the
and adapting.
Yeah, and that's it.
Did you know Preem and them before you went to jail, or you knew them when you went to jail?
Oh man, I know Preem and them before I went to jail because I know C.
Okay.
Was my man Harry Hunt. That's my heart. You know what I mean? Everybody tell you I ran to C in Lewisburg. Now I'm gonna give you one with them being that you brought them up. When Prince and them was going to trial, they had a girl named Tawana Gooden, you know what I mean, from 12th Street, you know what I mean, was dealing with Prince then. Every morning, she used to go to their trial, and at that time, a few nights during the trial, you know what I mean, I spent the night with her. You understand what I'm saying? So I brought her to the courthouse and made sure she had money to make sure I treated them to something to eat so they didn't have to depend on the lawyers or whoever else, because I wanted to help. You understand what I'm saying? Because Tawana, like I said, if I'm saying a name, so you could check my facts, Tawana Gooden sat through their trial, and I made sure I gave her money to make sure she could look out for him, because she was dealing with Prince when she was dealing with me. So the same way you mentioned Miss T, like I said, T can't claim me, like Tawana can't claim me. You know what I mean? I was sleeping with both of them and 100 other women because my money was long and I could. You know, I'm giving it to you real. I mean, niggas want to sit there and play games. You know what I mean? The females tell their crew, you know what I mean, that we their man, but they already know that we nobody's man. But if they're comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with it.
So you ain't settled down at a young age when you getting money. You had nobody settled down.
I look like settle down. I got a strip club where I'm bringing nasty girls stripping and eating from Miami all the way up and down the south. I look like putting my mouth on.
So you didn't have a main girl?
I'm talking about that. No, I didn't have no main girl because my girl left me. So when I came out of jail, I was by myself, and it was like, yo, it ain't nothing but me and my bitch. You know what I mean?
And why did she?
And that's it.
And why did she leave you?
You know what I mean? Because it was a fuck up. She had every right to leave me. So don't get it twisted.
I respect that.
You know what I mean? I'm robbing, stealing. I done did everything under the sun. She had every fucking right to leave me. I would have left me. I would have told my daughter to leave me. You know what I mean?
Was this woman somebody you loved? That you always had that woman
and
you
I'm
loved?
with her today.
Oh, God bless. Shout out to her. That's
You know,
real.
and I'm with her today.
That's real.
But it took me 20-something years to realize, you know, where my motherfucking heart belonged and that I fucked up. Instead of letting my pride and ego, you know what I mean, dance my emotions.
Pride and ego is a hell of a thing.
You know what I mean? Because like I'm gonna give you one. Females, and I ain't gonna keep giving you these jewels for nothing. No, I'm gonna tell you like it is, son. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna keep giving you jewels for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yo, listen, we let you rock with the recording. We let you rock.
All right,
we let you rock with the recording.
All right.
Nobody does that up here.
All right, well, I'm
No
gonna
guess.
give these jewels, son. A woman is governed by her emotions. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the women move by. Women move by their emotions. You understand what I'm saying? Where men, we move by our instinct and desire to survive. You understand what I'm saying? Where a woman gets emotionally involved, you know what I mean? We just get, you know what I mean? Our instincts is just surviving and making sure that no one hurts or stop us from getting what we need to survive. Where a woman, if she love you, she feel like she gonna do anything for you. I don't deal with love. You know what I mean? I deal with what I need to survive.
But you had to learn that based off how you grew up, being in the street, yeah?
I had to learn what?
Like that, not to deal with love. You didn't just automatically wake up and
I didn't learn. I didn't learn. I mean, no one taught it to me. That's how my life was. So I adapted to that.
So you adapted.
And that was the survival.
Okay.
Of adapting to knowing that I can't trust no one, not even a woman. You know what I mean? Only one I ever trusted. And to be honest, she crossed me once. You know what I mean? And that was my mother. You know what I mean? She crossed because she got married on me. You know what I mean? So it's some personal. That's my baby. That's my heart. Just so you know, that's mine. You know what I mean? I don't want no nigga around because if a nigga violate, I'm going to have to do something. The same I told my daughters, I don't want no niggas around them.
So hold up. Now it's time now it's time for me to wake up. So you mean to tell me Mama Love found happiness and you couldn't understand that? You want to be selfish?
No, I knew it wasn't happiness. It was a young nigga. So it wasn't love. It was lust. You understand what I'm saying? And, if you want to go and lust, go on and do that. But don't bring the lust over here. You understand what I'm saying? Don't bring the lust in here. You understand what I'm saying? Go to the hotel. Go do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But don't bring that around me because if that violate, I'm going to terminate that.
So you, I'm still trying to see it. So you knew did he have good intentions, but you didn't like his intentions for Mama
You're
Love?
not listening. It was lust. He was younger. It was like what they call it nowadays, the cougar thing. You know what I mean? It was one of them joints. And I'm telling you want yours, go get yours. But don't bring the nigga in my house. You know what I mean? Don't bring the nigga around me. Because I don't have to like him and I don't even need to know the nigga. Because when you give me the cue, that's the end of that.
I can't.
No, you don't have to agree with
it. That's Mama Love.
No. Listen, you're right. But like I said, if Mama Love wanted to do her, go on and do you. But don't bring the nigga around me.
In your vicinity.
Yeah, in my house.
In your house. Okay.
But she brought him in the house. That's why I said you know what I mean?
Then I got it.
Then I had to throw him and her out. You know what I mean? But to let her, and you know what? Today at 85 years old, she said, baby, I'm going to love you to the day I die because you showed out of all my kids. You 100% man because you knew what I was doing was wrong and you didn't let your love for me stop you from doing what I taught you. Wow. And that's why I love her.
Shout out to Mama Love for that.
85 years old. I just seen her for the first time. I see my mother once in 26 years. It took 18 years to see her. Then the other day, they allowed me to go down there to see it. But they tell me I'm a free man, but I had to get a pass to go see my mother. But I'm a free man.
Wow.
And when I went to see my mother, she got a new man. And I love him. He been there with her the whole time I've been locked up. And I told her, yo, because he younger than her again. But I told her, yo, when it's your time to pass, I got him. You know what I mean? Because he's been holding you down. That's a man. Mm-hmm. I got this one. You know what I mean? But that other, he just thought he was slicker than fish. You know what I mean? And we ain't gonna do that.
Don't steal my line. That's my line. Don't steal it.
I'm just saying, son.
Look at this. I'm taking that line. I don't give a war.
You know what I mean?
Fish.
Fish. You know how fish stay wet. You can't get no more slicker than fish.
So where were your siblings at this time, though? Because you said it was 6 of you guys in all, yes? Where were they? Like where were they? I mean, your brother passed away, rest in peace. But what about
he was still alive when all this went on.
Oh, okay. He was alive. He
was still alive.
He passed away at 93?
I got 94. October 1st, 94. He got passed away, and I got sentenced September 15th, 94.
But where were the rest of your siblings?
Wherever they needed to be. I didn't deal with them because they chose my father over my mother.
Oh.
And anyone who goes against my mother is my enemy.
So you your own enemy because you kicked out.
You know what I mean? No. She needed to be kicked out to be woke up to know that she raised a man and what she's doing is wrong. And I'm not going to sit back and allow that because she didn't raise me to sit back and allow that. And that's why I said at 85 when I seen her the other day, she told me in front of the man she with. She said, man, this is my man here. You know what I mean? When I was up and bought another in here because I was horny and on lust, you know what I mean? He put that nigga out. And when I said something, because I knew he loved me, he put my ass out too.
Where did you live when you got all this money? Where did you live? Where did you buy homes at?
Florida, Virginia, North Carolina, Atlanta, you know what I mean? And I had a condo in Jersey, you know what I mean, over there with Erica Kane and the rich, you know what I mean? And you know what it is, doorman, pull up in the car, they park the car, you know what I mean? They do everything for you there, you know what I mean? But they charge you enough, you know what I mean? I lived in quite a few places. And everywhere I lived, I had cars with stashes in it with a big motherfucking gun. You know what I mean?
Every car.
Because I didn't need no company. You know what I mean? When I go home, if I see a follow me, I'm pulling over and I'm busting shots, and we'll read about it in the paper in the morning. But we're not going to do no motherfucking game playing where I'm going to gamble if it's just if somebody find me and I see you make your face up. It's real, son. Ask about me. You know what I mean?
Did you have any celebrity?
Man, there is no such thing as celebrity.
Yo,
I'm celebrity.
Come on, man.
You mean celebrity?
Man,
I'm celebrity. What is wrong with you? Ain't no bigger than me.
You see the shit we doing?
No, I'm just saying.
Did you be doing?
That nigga ask some stupid ass. What the fuck is a celebrity?
Be a celebrity.
What the fuck is a celebrity?
A person of stature that's famous in the odds with this music.
It's got more stature than me. What's wrong with this?
Let's
go.
No, you go too far. You go too far.
I'm just saying.
Did you anybody that was known?
I was known. That's all you need to know.
So you
just went around saying they unique. What the fuck I look like saying I
you don't kiss and tell.
You know what I mean? I didn't need to tell niggas because I'm that. Go ask them. They'll say, man, I unique. Man, I suck unique off. Yes, they so good from the back. The bananas, he like this. But I'm not going to talk about the was this and this and that. I look
Respect.
I'm the star. Don't get it fucked up. I'm out there busting my gun, holding the block down. You know what I mean? Fuck, I look like giving a woman props. Ain't no celebrity.
Okay, listen, you got
get that straight.
Can you talk about how you was able to get your sentence unturned? You said your sentence, reversed.
Man, what I had to do was make my own motherfucking rules. You got penitentiary rules, and then you got your own rules as a man. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Meaning penitentiary rules is if you catch a masturbating at a female police and you see his genitals, you got to stab him. If you don't stab him, you's a bitch, and you're going to try you, and your car going to run you off the pound because they're going to say that you's a bitch because you didn't punish him for letting you see his dick. Because we draw a hard line in the feds. Ain't no homosexuality, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? But unique rules is, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm trying to get home to my kids, man. You know what I mean? This fool ass make me kill his ass. What I want to do? Do I want to go home to my kids or do I want to play these penitentiary motherfucking politics? So I had to make my own choice. I told him, yo, stay away from him because next time I see I'm going to have to kill you. But I'm going to give you this pass on the strength of my kids. But don't let me see that no more.
You know the question I asked you.
I know exactly the question you asked.
And I want to know how you got your sentence turned.
No, that I just told you, but you missed it because it went over your head.
It never. No. I caught it. Boom. Look, it's
Okay.
here.
All right.
By making it your own rules.
Because that allowed me to stay away from violence.
Understood.
From incident reports.
Understood.
You know what I mean? And from f***ing up. Because now I'm making my own rules. My rules was going to school, getting as much programs as I can under my belt, because I know one day they're going to have to do something, because they kept throwing niggas in a mile a minute. You can't throw 20 pounds of water or 20 pounds of flour in a 5-pound bag and expect it to take. And that's how they was throwing niggas in prison back in the 90s, all the way up into 2000. So I know something going to have to break. And I knew with my jacket, my record, and everything else, I can't get out on my jacket. My jacket buried me. So now I had to be exceptional and use my mind to get their little programs where I could say, I took what you told me I needed to take to be rehabilitated. You know what I mean? And now you tell me that you don't believe in your program if you ain't trying to let me out, when I'm showing you 100 of these certificates that you say that a regular nigga without life, you know what I mean, take 5 of them and he could go home. I got over 100, but I got life. But I got this from 1996 all the way to 2020. You know what I mean? So I forced his hand. Where the judge even said, when I came in front of him, I was a career criminal. I deserved a life sentence. I was the worst that he ever seen. I never talked to my prosecutor one time. I fired 3 lawyers for trying to bring me a deal that the prosecutor offered them. Because there was nothing to talk about. Line them up, let's go to trial, give me the life, let's do the appeal, or let me die in prison. But I don't need to talk to that man. He can't help me.
Do you like Donald Trump? He signed something.
Listen, it ain't even about liking somebody. I don't put the energy in it, because to each his own. You understand what I'm saying? I respect Donald Trump. And a lot of people don't like it. I respect him because he went in office and he said, I don't like murderers, I don't like Jews, I don't like blacks, and I don't like Muslims. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to build a motherfucking wall to keep the Mexicans out because they like to break the law. He didn't lie to you, motherfucker. He told you what he was about. He said it when he ran. But niggas still didn't vote. And the white people went and voted. And he's in office now. But he told you what he was. So now that he's doing everything to f off the blacks, the Jews, the Muslims, and everybody else, now you want to get mad and say Donald Trump is a bad guy. No, he told you what type of guy he was. When he ran, he told you who he was.
But he also signed an order, right? That's how he was able to come home, right? He signed something.
He signed an amendment. He signed an amendment that said that the judges had the power to release us, you know what I mean, if we've been programming. You know what I mean? But I knew that had to come into play at some time or another. So that's why I tightened up and started getting as many of them certificates as I can. So when I threw all of them on the judge's desk and say, man, this is what I did.
Are you appreciative that he did that?
Oh, I'm very appreciative that he did that. Don't get it twisted, but I'm saying it's not up to me to like him or dislike him.
Understood.
You understand what I'm saying? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if he wouldn't have did it and I would have died in prison, I would have died an honorable man. And I'm satisfied with that.
How many children do you have?
7. You know what I mean? And like I said, a couple of them think that they hate me because they don't know me. You know what I mean? But, you know, like I said, I'm going to work with them because I already know I'm a hard motherfucking cookie. You know what I mean? I'm a unique cookie. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take my time and work with them. You know what I mean? If they want to be worked with. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? You know?
Take us to the day when you came home for the first time. What was that like? Give us that experience and that whole just, you know, that whole vibe. You first came home.
To be honest, I was f***ed up. I was really disappointed. You know what I mean? Because they waited till I was getting ready to leave to give me this stupid ass bracelet to put on my motherfucking leg. You know what I mean? To tell me that I had to go from California to New Jersey when they already know. I even put it in my motion and the judge released me to go see my mother. She's 85. You know what I mean? But now they telling me I got to go to New Jersey and they gave me this bracelet. Don't tell me who to respond to because they know I'm old hard-headed. So they figured I was going to say f it and shoot to Miami so they could violate me and put my ass back in jail. So I had to fly to New Jersey and play the game. You know what I mean? Up to this day, I still haven't seen nobody who's in charge of this bracelet. I haven't seen not one person. And I've been calling like a mother. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody want to talk to me about this bracelet. but they all want me to violate. You know what I mean? This bracelet so they can lock my black ass back up. But I go to 16th, you know what I mean? And that's when I would find 2 months I've been out. I haven't reported to anybody. I just got to keep charging this shit up every night like I. You know what I mean? But I know the games they play.
How long you on parole for?
Oh, I got 5 years supervised release, but my parole that ain't got nothing to do with this bracelet for my criminal life sentence. But my parole officer is putting me in to be taken off now so I could give what they call it? I'm a personal consultant, you know what I mean, to the youth. I see you smiling, but it's real. You know what I mean?
Smiling because, you know, I like that.
Yeah, I'm a personal consultant to the youth, and she has a job for me working for the state, you know what I mean, courthouse where she work out of to talk to her youthful offenders because she feel that I would be perfect. So she's trying to get me off so I can move around freely to be able to do this.
Do you think the way you talk and how you talk is the reason why you're able to get what you need and need what you get?
Ain't the way I talk or the way none of that. I mean, I'm going to take what I want.
You're honorable, but the way you talk, you have a way of talking. To me, you're a good talker.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call that, I'm just me, son.
But if I had to define it, I can say it's a good.
I mean, no, then you're entitled to that. I can't, tell you how to define. That's your opinion.
I think that you're a great talker. I think that you know how to make things work into your favor because how you talk and the confidence. Confidence is very important. Do you feel that you have confidence?
I'm not scared to die. You know what I mean?
I like this guy.
That's where weakness comes from. Everybody think that they live to get rich. You know what I mean? We live to die, man. We all gonna die. It's the bottom line. But when we go, we want to be able to leave something behind. You know what I mean? So they know my name. When they look back at this tape, you'll never see another come sit here like this. Because there's a bunch of niggas like me now. Don't get it up. I ain't saying that. Got Big Prince, Preem. You understand? My man, Amir. You know what I mean? I can sit here naming names all day. Doc Shakur that I just left, just got cancer, Tupac father. There's a whole bunch of men like me. And I'm not the only nigga now. I don't think that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But they don't expect us to come sit on this couch, on this side of the fence. You know what I mean? I just, manipulated my way through their up system to get here.
Wait, Tupac's father's alive?
Hell yeah. You know what I mean? When I left, he was alive. I left February 21st. He left and he went to the hospital. He just got cancer. He just came to see me to tell me that he got cancer and they was getting ready to send him out to the hospital. That's Doc Shakur. That's my man. But like I said, there's a whole bunch of gangsters in there. I'm not the only gangster. And yeah, when I say gangster, y'all not used to hearing it because y'all hear it so much from these rappers that y'all take it like, oh man, it's just another talking shit. You know what I mean? But believe me, they got a whole fucking prison system full of gangsters. You know what I mean? And I'm just one that got lucky and made it out.
We were supposed to talk to Preem, after an interview we did with Bimmy.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to talk to him. We spoke to somebody and we came to the studio. I guess they had a lockdown and everything, but there's a lot of people out there that stand strong with things.
Exactly. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
That I'm not the only one. You just meeting me. You know what I mean?
And I'm happy to meet you.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice to meet you, young man, too.
Yeah. I'm happy to meet you. I think that
I'm keeping it G. I'm 56, man. I'm an old ass man. I look good. You know what I mean? But I'm an old ass man. Don't get it fucked up. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I had to stay in shape in case a young jump out there and all that. So that's why I still, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, just keeping it 100.
G, chill, G. I know you like him, but you're giving him a little bit too much credit.
Dude, you ain't got to give me credit, nigga. The street speak for me.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I don't need your credit. That's why I said, nigga.
My credit is important. My credit is important.
It probably is to you.
No. To society is important.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Credit.
To society is important.
And that's what counts. To you. But I say, motherfucker.
Nigga, I stripped my ego and pride and said, "Y'all give you credit."
Okay.
I stripped it.
Okay.
Humbly.
Well, I respect that and I appreciate that.
Do you? Do you really?
I do appreciate that, fam, because I respect men.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I respect men. Everybody, listen, everybody's not a killer. Everybody's not a drug dealer. Everybody, you know what I mean? It's not who you want them to be. We are who we are. You understand what I'm saying? So I got flaws.
Respect.
You understand what I'm saying? We all got flaws. You know what I mean? But we know how to, you understand what I'm saying? Pick, use what's good and not judge a person by just the flaws that he have. Because I got a lot of up flaws. 26 years in the cage by myself, 5 years in the cage by myself, never touching nobody. You know what I mean? I ain't touched a woman in 26 years.
Until you
know what
came
I mean?
home.
Huh?
Until you came home.
You're right. And I had chances to touch women in prison. But I wasn't going to let no CO bring no AIDS and give me AIDS and kill me off in prison without me getting back to my mama. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I'm not the only jailhouse they trying to fucking suck. So they go fucking suck the next nigga. I ain't got a problem beating my 3 times a day like a meal. You know what I mean? I know me. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it 100.
That's real talk.
Yo.
You know what I mean? I'm keeping it 100. I beat my 3 times a day like a meal. My work and it's big as a motherfucker. And it got big over 26 years. No homo. You know what I mean? But that's because I work my. I don't look at boys and I don't need no CO bitch. I know how to grab me a picture of my girl and lock in or get me a good ass sex letter. If I get, all I want is a good sex letter. Write a letter where you can enter my mind. You understand what I'm saying? And get my dick hard. And I love you. You know what I mean? Capture my mind.
When did you cut your locks off, or did you lose it?
That's a damn good question, man. You ain't but you ask good questions. No, I'm serious. That was a damn good question. I'm going to show you why. Because, as you know, I'm from the 70s with the political violence and all that. And when Rastas just begun, like I said, in 1964, in the 60s with my older cousins and my brothers that was Rastas. So my mother knows Rastas like how y'all know Muslims. How now they say Muslims is terrorists. You know what I mean? You see a dude wearing the garb and he's a terrorist. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm listening.
So that's how my mom's looked at dreads. So I haven't seen her in 18 years. And she said, baby, I know you love me, but only ask one request of you. Please don't let me have to see you with those dreads because I don't want to remember your childhood and what you went through as a Rasta. So all I'm asking you, baby, please cut those for me.
That's deep.
And that's why I said that was a damn good question because you didn't even know that. But that had meaning. That was 2010. I cut the joints out for moms. That was my sacrifice to show that anything you want, I got you.
That's deep.
Still looks smooth, all right.
Yeah, I'm a handsome. I know. You know what I mean?
So where do we go? Where do we go? You know, because I'm gonna wrap it up. To your children, right? You said something earlier that stuck with me that, you know, some of them think they hate you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But you know, you're gonna stick it out with them. And is that something that you learned while being in prison, to have patience?
Oh, most definitely. Because I mean it was so much I wanted to put the knife in. You know what I mean? And I had to think for yo, if I kill this, I'm never getting out this motherfucker. You know what I mean? But this nigga deserved to die, man. He's about as dumb as they come. You know what I mean? But I'm sure another would kill him. He'll cross somebody else's path. Let me leave this dumb alone. That's what I meant by I had to make my own rules instead of prison rules. You know what I mean? What they call prison politics. You know what I mean? Where somebody do this, you must do that. No, I'm my own man. I'm not in no gangs. No disrespect to the gangs. I'm not in nothing, so no one can tell me what to do. If I choose to let it ride, I choose to let it ride. And it paid off because I'm sitting on this couch. I'm laying up with a woman every night. You know what I mean? I'm with my grandkids. So it paid off. So I'm telling the next nigga in there, you need to make your own politics. You know what I mean? And stop letting the prison make the politics for you, or the streets, or, you know, no disrespect, the gangs or whatever. You know what I mean?
How you using ADX? How serious is ADX? Like, as far as the security, like
Serious as a motherfucking heart attack.
So nobody can escape that.
No, you ain't escaping that. Because you're going underground, and when you come out the joint, they got barbed wire over your head where you can sit up, and you're like 5 floors down, and every floor they got barbed wire, and you all the way down. So you go through one barbed wire, you got 10 more to get to. So you ain't getting out there. That's why they put Chapo there. You ain't getting out there.
Are you guys able to communicate with one another in there?
Yeah, when we go to rec in the morning, you know what I mean? Like the whole range will go together. Everybody's a single cell. So they got like 18 cells, but they only keep 11 or 12 on each range in case there's an emergency in another jail, you know, in the regular prison, and they need to put to somebody there immediately. So they leave like the last 6 cells empty on every range, which add up to like 100 and something that they could always bring to throw people in there if something go down. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Like I said, you know, yeah, that joint ain't nothing nice, man. That, I wouldn't wish that shit on the nigga that ratted on me. You know what I mean? To let you know how serious shit is, you know?
Was there a lot of fights in there, or there's no fights really?
Man, there was murders and every goddamn thing in there.
Word?
You know what I mean? No, you can't stop a from killing. Not when you're putting them around another man. When they put us in a cage, it's just 11 of us in the cage, and they got one police on the other side of the cage. You know what I mean? And they got these black and white TVs that if you got a beef with it, you break the TV, and they got a bar that holds the TV picture screen. You know what I mean? So you take that bar and you bring it out in the morning and you do what you got to do, because if not, he going to bring his bar and do what he got to do.
Is Dr. York in there?
I don't even know who the fuck that is. Man, must be some new shit. You know what I mean? I told you, I opened that joint up back in 95 until like 2000. I'm just saying, that's some new niggas. Who the fuck is a Dr. York? The fuck a doctor do to wind up in there?
He Dr. York was a guy, a cult leader from New York, and you know, he was sleeping with children, all type of weirdo stuff like that. He was.
Oh,
like
see now, if like that go there, they gonna keep him separated.
Oh, they are.
They would never put him around
kill
other
him.
men because they'll kill him. Yeah, they'll kill him. You got to remember, this is a place where you got the worst of the worst. That's how I knew about the Tupac and Biggie thing when it went down, because the shot callers was there. That's who make the rules for the outside for all the gangs, and that's why they got them there. You understand what I'm saying?
I think, who else is there? The guy that started Lion King is there, I think.
Yeah, King Tone.
Not
Yeah.
King Tone,
King Blood. King Blood, yeah. We call him Tone, King Blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, he there. Larry Hoover there. You know what I mean? Pistol Pete there. You know what I
my
mean?
brother, Pistol Pete.
OG Mac there. I was with OG Mac 2003 August in Coleman, Florida, when he just blew trial and they sent him to Lewisburg, and then they sent him to Coleman, Florida. I ran into him in a hole in Coleman, Florida, because I know him from the street. You know what I mean? Because he used to work with one of my little partners, you know, baby mother. You know what I mean? I know OG Mac personally. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I said, I ran into him, and, you know, I basically told him, you know, dude, you're going to ADX. You know what I mean? But he thinking that Captain Jenkins was his name, was going to keep him on the compound. I said, dude, they're appeasing you. You're going straight to ADX. You're not even going to pass go, dog. You know what I mean? So just mentally prepare yourself for it. And here goes some good men when you get up there to holler at. But you ain't going to see a USP. Not with your rep.
Are there any racist people in AD?
Hell
I'm talking about inmates.
Hell yeah, we had a white boy, man. I'm even gonna say his name, named Barry Mills. You know what I mean? Then we had a black dude. Barry Mills is the one they made the movie Silence of the Lamb after.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? So they got Barry Mills up there. He was just standing up talking to one of the big homies. 'Cause I was a little nigga back then. I was 29. He was talking to one of the old homies, Appleby, on the range. And just the two of them talking on the range, the police locked the jail down and took them and put them back in the first phase of the program to start all over when they was going to be leaving in 6 months. You understand what I'm saying? Just because they saw the black and the white talking. The black dude, Appleby, killed a cop and killed two white boys in Maryland State Prison. And they sent them over in the feds to Marion. Then when they opened up ADX, they sent them there. And then when they sent them there, they also sent Barry Mills there when they did the movie Silence of the Lamb. But now we all make it to get to a phase where we come out to eat the 3 meals a day, you know, our range. So while we out there, they saw Barry Mills and Appleby talking on the range. And just them talking on the range, you know what I mean? The police locked the jail down and put them back and gave them another 5 years just for talking.
They're not supposed to talk to each other?
No, they're supposed to, but they scared because Appleby killed white boys. You know what I mean? I mean, I could tell you some prison stories forever. You know what I mean? The white boys killed a black dude from D.C. that everybody already knows, so I can say it, that sparked a lot of the race wars in the feds called Cadillac. You know what I mean? White boy killed them, man, viciously. But anyway, they went back and killed the white boys, and that sparked a big boom, boom, boom. So now when in these tight lockup jails, when they see when they see the blacks and the whites, or the blacks and the Spanish talking, and they don't know what we're talking about, they're locking it down and separating everybody and sending us all back to the hole. And we got to take another 5 years to work our way back out of that. You know what I mean? Trust me, that.
But they wasn't beefing though.
You know, they didn't have to beef. They didn't know if they was beefing. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I heard you loud and clear.
You know, now I'm gonna give you a quick one, and I'm gonna be done with this interview. You're getting too much game, so you go get a ruin Harlem. They had back in the days, they had the California MA and the Texas MA. You understand what I'm saying? So you had both of the shot callers. California MA is where it started. That's the black hand that runs all the joints in the prison system. And then you had it started, you know, when they broke them up from that movie American Me and all that at the end where they started separating them and sent them all in the system, told them some going to Texas, some going to Georgia and all that. So when they went, they started and they said, yeah, we're going to be even powerful, or we're going to start when we get over here and there. Well, they actually did that when they went to Texas. So now they got the California MA and the Texas MA. They didn't get along like back when the Bloods and Crips first started, where in the Fed system, the California Bloods didn't really respect the New York Bloods because they was hating. You know what I mean? For whatever reason. You understand what I'm saying? But when the got, you know, hectic with the California and the Texas MA, you know what I mean? They had a thing where it was kill on sight. You know what I mean? Where if you put any of them in each other's path, they must kill them. And they was killing each other like that. You know what I mean? So it got so bad that they locked down all the penitentiaries in 1997, 1998. When they locked down all the penitentiaries, they was trying to figure out a way to open it back up. So they went and they got the 2 shot callers from Texas and from Cali and had the 2 of them go have a meeting, you know, through the glass in ADX to see how they could rectify it. And after they talked, they told the police, yo, everything cool, y'all can open up your jail. You know what I mean? And the police said, yeah, but y'all don't need to call nobody or nothing. And they said, no, everything is good. They said, no, but you didn't call anyone. So, I mean, how are we going to let them know that everything is good? I mean, dude, open your jail up. So they called across the street and they opened up a range. When they opened up that range, the California and Texas MA, they came out and they embraced each other that the beef was over. The Department of Justice was so up because they like, these never made a phone call. How did they get word that it was over? They're too powerful. So what they did is then they started putting all the gangs on their own range. Like all the Bloods had to go on one range, or the California MA, or the Texas MA, or the Crips. You know what I mean? They started separating them in that manner because to this day, they don't know how the communication got from there to there to tell them that the beef was over. So that's when they started separating the gangs and putting you on your own range with your own joint. So that's one of the last jewels I'm gonna give you, son. You're getting a lot for nothing, man.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
You're getting a lot for nothing, son.
How do people feel about Preem up there? They show him respect up there?
Oh yeah, Preem, good people, son. Preem like me, good heart, don't bother nobody. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I said, we not animals in the prison system. You understand? We not animals. You know what I mean? We men and we respect men. You know what I mean? Preem, you know what I mean? Always been respectful. I didn't get to cross his path during my federal, bid. You understand what I'm saying? Because he went to ADX after I had left, and then I was out west when they was keeping him in the Midwest, and like that. So, but everybody that I met, and I can literally say I haven't met anyone that ran across, Preem that didn't have high regards for him. And I don't care what state or backwoods they was from. If they met Preem, they had a wonderful story about him because he connected to the whole hip-hop genre era. So they judged that, and it's big for them to say, oh, I was with Preem. You know what I mean? And like I said, everybody speak highly of him. You know what I mean? Everybody speak highly of him.
You was up there with Pistol, too?
Yeah, no, he came after me. I opened it up back in the 90s. Pistol came like in the 2000s, remember?
Right. No,
yeah, I was already gone. You know what I mean? I was already, working on my path to this seat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? By programming and doing what I had to do and keeping knucklehead away. They used to call a move, they call it a 10-minute move. The move is 2 minutes. Soon as they call the move, after the first minute, they hitting the boop, boop, letting you know the move get ready to end. So as soon as they open the door, you see everybody running all over the place, running everywhere. Where you got the cool black dudes that just sitting in the yard buying they wine and smoking their weed. You understand what I'm saying? And smoking their cigarettes. Man, I ain't running nowhere. But I'm running across the yard like a trying to get to the library. They talking about, Unique, where you go, man? I'm getting ready to go to this class. You ain't getting out. You got life. You ain't never going out. Crazy? I said, you'll see. I'll see when I get back. Save me a puff. You know what I mean? But I took my ass to class. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm sitting on this seat. And that's why I can't get in there and tell you nothing bad about me, nothing negative about me, because I ain't tell on nothing. I ain't did none of that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just know to leave a dumb alone. And I don't have to be the one to bust a dumb in the head, because he's going to cross paths with another dumb.
But they told you something bad about me. See that bullshit?
Nah, they just said that you had a slick motherfucking mouth and you come off real crazy. So I just wanted to make sure we get an understanding that we going to talk as men. You know what I mean? So I brought it to you as a man because I'm not going to bite my tongue and have no ill thoughts and play with my mental.
You did, but you brought it to me kind of aggressively.
Okay.
Stood in the middle of the floor. You know what I mean? You caught me off guard. I was very humble. I came out there, shook everybody's hand. I was, Came out here, stood right there in the middle. Yo, I threw me off guard, but then I adjusted to the margins because that's what we do. I'm from Queens.
Well, I apologize if you took it that way,
No.
brother. I was just being assertive and letting you know where I stand. That's all.
Yeah.
It wasn't no disrespect meant to
Nah,
you.
I didn't
It's just
think
letting you know my character I don't play them games.
Yes.
You know what I mean? 'Cause like I said, when I lay down, I got to think, did that disrespect me? Do I have to go wait in his bushes and see this nigga tomorrow night? You know what I mean? So I ain't trying to wait in the bushes, and I'm not trying to put these thoughts in my mind.
Got
So I'm
you.
trying to keep peaceful. You know what I mean? So we ain't got to do it. I'm tired of the bushes, man.
I appreciate
You know,
it.
I'm tired of the
I
bushes.
appreciate you being honest and transparent. That's important.
And I respect you. I really enjoyed the interview,
Well,
to be honest.
I enjoyed it too, but you're very good. You're good. You're good. And
I'm good.
I'm gonna get the book, and then we're gonna see what's going on.
Yeah, give me back when you get the book. That way, at least I know you paid for the game. You ain't gonna get the game without paying for the book. You know what I mean? Right or wrong, son.
I respect that.
You know what I mean?
I respect that. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you want too much, son. I'm here for my man Boosie, because, you know,
He told us
that's
that
my heart.
Boosie's a good guy, man. He said, "Yo, Flip, I got this guy." And like I said, I heard about you from the the young lady, Miss T, and let me chill. That's none of my business. It's about my business. This guy's a good guy. They like you, man. I'm sure respect to your wife. We don't want to cause no problems, you know what I mean? Because they watch this. I don't want to say anything wrong to get you in trouble, because you ain't gonna find me after that. Because I'll get you in trouble. I get you in trouble.
You'll be surprised, son. I don't wear the bucket for nothing. Don't think I wear the bucket for nothing. I know how to blend in. And I got a black one in the trunk.
Oh, any final
We're
words
doing,
you
we're
got,
doing
bro?
some podcast stuff too,
Okay.
so that people can hear more of his stories.
I think it'll be a good idea.
Stories,
I think so.
Oh, yeah, my podcast is really going to be about the struggles that we went through from the inside. It ain't going to be about the drugs and all this women we screwed.
Yeah,
It's about
glorifying bullshit.
Yeah, it's about what I went through being away from my kids, and what my kids went through being away from me, and what my kids' mother went through trying to survive without me. You know what I mean? Because I was the central figure. I had everything they needed, and then they took all that away. Now they ain't got shit. You understand? That's why, no disrespect, I tell all the time when they try and, ask me for something in the joint, I said, my bitch just sent me this. I don't know who she sucked for this. I look like giving you this money when I don't know where the this money came from. Now I'm just giving it to you real. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm letting you know that, our women is strong, you know what I mean? And we got good women that held us down. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, man. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to play no games, and I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. You know what I mean? This bid was hard. You know what I mean? It was hard.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
crazy,
And
man.
the hardest part was being away from my kids and knowing the hurt that I caused them. When I call, I'm talking to my son. He's 15, 16, and I can't let him know, like, damn, I'm feeling today. But this is my scheduled time for the call. So I got to call, hey, what's up, man? You all right? And the whole time, I'm ready to kill this dumbass when I get off the phone. What you doing, baby boy? You all right? Man, this need to die. You know what I mean? But these are the thoughts that battling, but I got to let him hear only the positive side.
Right.
You understand? To not let him know that this shit is affecting me, because then it'll throw him off balance. So as long as he think his father's balanced, he got no choice but to be balanced.
Yo, so as we wrap it up right now, knowing what going through what been through, what would you tell your younger self? Like, what kind of advice would you give yourself, your 13-year-old self, 14-year-old self right now?
And that's another good question. I didn't think you was that smart, but you did damn good, son. You know what I mean? No, that's a damn good question. I'm gonna give you the reason why. Because I got issues with my oldest brother, because he's who brought me out when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And I felt if he was my brother and he loved me, he wouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? Now that I'm a man and I know what he did was wrong.
Right.
But at the time, it was all right, because my job was to protect him and protect the herb gates. Read the Roaring Harlem once again. You know what I mean? What's that, 20 or 19, son? You keep it count?
22.
22? All right. You know what I mean? No, but like I said, that's why I say that's a good question, because I'm vexed with my older brother, because I don't feel he should have did that to me. You understand what I'm saying? I feel he should have said, nah, baby, bro, come on. You understand what I'm saying? The way I'm telling my kids not to, and I'm trying to tell other people's kids not to. You understand? So what I would tell my younger self is the same thing that I expected today that my older brother should have told me. Nah, I need to do that. That's why I tell yo, don't do it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you go sell drugs, go do none of that. But if you do it, just know when they come get you, shut the fuck up. It's not that hard. If you think you're a tough guy and you can do 26 years and you're tougher than me, keep doing what you're doing. But I'm telling you, don't do it.
Just know they coming.
You know what I mean? But they coming.
That's for real.
And when they come, I had a SIS nigga named Feeney. I'm even gonna give his name. If in the face, they met Feeney. Feeney's like a bloodhound. He out the Bronx, little white Irish boy. That motherfucker said, man, I'm bringing dope in a mile a minute in Allenwood just for the sport of it. I'm selling dope every goddamn way in the prison. So this came up to me and he said, man, Nick, you've been getting over for a long time. I know you got all the dope, but I'm not tripping because you done got over about 100 times. But all I got to do is catch you once.
One time. You only take it one time.
All I got to do is catch you once, and I'm taking you right to the courthouse.
It's over.
And all that you fighting and programming to get out, all I need is one time.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's the answer to your question. I tell them, man, get the fuck out that shit. It ain't worth it because they're going to get you. Mm-hmm. All they need is one time.
One time. Hustle forever. One time.
You know?
Did you know the guy named Preacher?
Yeah, I know Preacher. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know Preacher.
Okay,
but like I said before, if a man is comfortable when he lay his head down on that pillow at night,
all that matters.
It's not my business.
Respect.
What demons or thoughts that goes through his mind. I only could worry
Preacher
about
told
me.
his kids to tell on him so they can get out. His son, that was my boy, Sid.
You know what I mean?
He told him to tell on him. Boy.
Yeah, and I met his daughter, AD. Real sweet. I still talk to her. Good girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like I said, and I respect her father. I mean, because, at the end of the day, whatever a man chooses to do, like I said, it's his own business, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's his own business. Like, you can't get mad and say, man, you run this podcast. That's some sucker shit. You related to Bimmy and them. You're supposed to be out there on the block. You know what I mean?
Imagine that.
But you got dumb niggas that would say that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean? You making easy money.
That's the biggest thing today. Follow niggas that tell them, yo, you ain't get no money. You ain't on the block with us. And now you fall suit for the bull.
You know what I mean? But I respect a man that finds his own lane, whatever it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And I appreciate that.
Yeah. But like I said, I got my YouTube channel at Unique Mecca Audio at YouTube. Yeah, I'm plugging. Unique Mecca Audio at YouTube.
Plug it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, plug it,
all
plug
right.
it, plug it.
You know what I mean? Unique Mecca Audio at my Instagram and a Roaring Harlem at the Instagram. And I enjoyed my joint today, son.
Spell out Aurora. A-R-O-A-R.
Yeah.
R-O-A-R.
Yeah, like a lion roaring.
R-O-A-R-I-N.
by itself, roar.
Yeah. A-R-O-A-R-I-N Harlem. H-A-R-L-E-M.
I just want to make sure you can spell.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, but I ain't going to read that. Then you try to pull me, too.
So I don't do that.
You know what I mean?
See? I see.
I ain't one thing. I don't forget nothing, son.
You see the shit you on
Yeah,
now?
I'm just saying, I don't forget nothing,
See?
son. You try to give you a spelling bee.
No.
I mean, God
I
damn.
want to show you how good you are in talking because you actually convinced me. But you did say that.
No, I said I couldn't read, but I learned to
you
read.
learned
That's
to
how I
read.
got
Yeah,
them
yeah.
certificates.
You said that, and I respect that. But I just
Dang.
want to show how intelligent you are. I had to remind you about your intelligence.
I mean, they can tell that by my conversation.
I had to remind
If they
you,
can't,
though.
that mean they not intelligent.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Because like I said, I know I'm articulate.
That's deep. And make sure, though, y'all, they go to Zeno, get the Zeno app, Z-E-N-O, and my radio station, Big Picture.
Oh, yeah, I got to do an
Big
interview
Picture.
with him down
Yeah,
there.
we're going to do the interview, and then they can ask questions. They can call up live and all that. Once you go to just get the Zeno app, Big Picture Radio, and it's going to pop right up, WGMB 93.9.
And for the record, on the strength of Bootsy, you got this for free. But on any one of you other mother that want me, because I know you want me, come with that bag. You know what I mean? Because I got a for-profit organization. Bring the bag.
Because this
You know
is
what I
only
mean?
a
You
little,
ain't getting this shit for nothing.
this is a little bit of talk.
You know what I mean?
This wasn't even.
Yeah, I'm just letting it be known. You know what I mean?
This wasn't even half of the conversation
You know?
of what we really got for y'all.
Japan.
You know?
And that's because you my nigga.
I appreciate that.
And make sure you get that in there that they need to bring that back. They
Sure.
want to contact me or don't contact me. Because I ain't got nothing for nothing. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing for nothing.
And G Money, I'm still waiting, man. We need to
We
do
got
an
set
hour
up for the
segment, man,
joint.
for the
Yeah,
radio. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that
Do
Do
really
it, and I can just place it every Friday, Saturday, whatever days you want.
But when I set my joint up, man, I would like to interview your big ass.
Me?
Yes.
I lost weight.
You know what I mean?
I lost weight.
No, I ain't talking about your weight-wise. I'm saying that, I think you're big in the game because I like the way you conduct yourself. I can see you, being large.
Well, thank you.
You know what I mean? I see you being large.
I don't know how to take that compliment, but I appreciate it.
I know because it's unique, so you don't really understand it. When you lay down and think about it tonight, you'll understand it.
Listen,
You know what I mean?
listen. When I walk through that door and I lay down and think, all that shit is left at the door. I go with free spirits. So
You
I
know
don't remember.
what?
I don't remember none of that.
You know what? I think you got that from my speech today, nigga. You know what I mean? When I said that I don't go lay down and put nobody else's problems on my
So
pillow.
what? It don't matter where I got
I'm
it
gonna charge
from.
you for the game you getting,
It
son.
don't matter. Let's sign on, man. Salute to everybody that came in the building, man. Round of applause one more time for Unique. You had round of applause. We definitely appreciate you coming up here. Thank you, Bootsy, for bringing the mic. I really appreciate you.
Salute.
Yeah, I enjoyed the joint, man. But thank y'all though, for real, son. I mean, it was a pleasure.
We appreciate you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You know, and like I said again, I apologize for my aggression.
It's all right.
You know what I mean?
It's all
But
right.
that's my survival tactic.
It's all
You know
right.
what I mean?
I just it was
You got to be ready to pull his gun at any time, son.
yeah. I know you came.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I respect it.
You know what I mean? But like I said, I'll pull it to protect you before I do anything else, because I call you family now.
I appreciate that.
You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
I call
Thank
both
you.
y'all family
Thank
now,
you.
man.
Thank
'Cause
you.
I really enjoyed myself.
But you know, I'm
today.
gonna protect myself.
But we know that.
I appreciate you.
Oh, that's the least of the
No,
worries. You come from a good bloodline. My man Ray told me you related to Bimmy and them. That's family.
I appreciate you saying you want to protect me. That means a lot.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know you good people in my books. And I
But you
got
know what's crazy? I'm sorry. I had to cut you. How they go? No. How they gonna say I disrespected my uncle, man? You know that's crazy. These are people. It's like telephone. It's like telephone. They give this man the wrong information. You know, and I respect how you came in because a lot of people do say
It could be
I ain't even
from
gonna
the
lie.
old
When I was
episode.
riding up from North Carolina, I'm like, who the f*** is that in my nigga?
I know a lot of people do say like.
I told him on the phone. I said, dude, I'm not trying to go up there play no ass games.
I thought they based it. I thought they based it off my videos. I thought they based it off my videos on Instagram because that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, yo,
All the old interviews too.
we
though.
watching old interviews, watching
Old
videos,
interviews,
and you wild
yeah.
out. But we haven't. I've been good for the
I
past
told- but I
2
told-
years.
I told him.
No, but see, like I said, I've been in 27. I haven't watched not one YouTube video yet.
Well, you
because
gonna
I want
watch
to do
it.
my own joint.
You gonna watch? Well, I
You
like
know what
that.
I mean?
I like that, and I'm
I
gonna
want
help
to
you
do my
promote
own
your
joint. I don't
joint.
want to be swayed. You know what I mean?
I already swayed you already.
No, you ain't swayed me. I just let you know what time it is, my brother.
But we swayed
You know
each
what I mean?
other.
That's all. We swayed each other. You know what I mean? We'll take that. You know what I mean?
Shout out, G. Shout out, man.
Hey, before we
Alright.
check, I gotta do one more thing. Man.
Sure.
Yeah.
I got y'all gonna have them up here on the couch. I got the hottest female rap group in the game down in North Carolina, BWA. Check out BWA official.
Got
Their
you.
video, all that's crazy. My brother Double A, that was on the couch with me last time.
Salute.
His joint dropping. Against the Summer, he's dropping, and then my son Trey Thriller, he's dropping, and my nephew AR Winks. And we good. I appreciate y'all, man.
I don't trust you though, Bootsy. You knew a meal and you ain't tell me. I had to find a meal on my own.
I mean, like you just said, we don't kiss and tell, but it ain't about me and her. It ain't about me and her kissing and telling. That's like my sister. So, you know, she like to stay quiet, so I like to keep her quiet.
I told her because
I
she
like
thought
to respect her space.
She thought I got.
I love for Million to come back. She'll crush.
She's a beautiful
the game.
lady.
Yes.
She thought I got her number from you, and I said, Bootsy didn't give me your number. I just got her from Queens.
Yeah, never.
Yeah,
I told her that. She called me, yo, you gave Flip my number. Why would I do that? I don't give out people numbers unless I ask you, do you want me to get a number out? You know, but that's family, though.
I appreciate you. Thank you for real. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
G-Money.
Yeah, we signed out, man. Shout out to Maestro's one time too. We had to put on a
Oh, yeah.
Maestro joint today. You know
Sponsors,
what I'm saying?
Maestros,
Shout out to
well,
Maestros
you
in
know,
the
we
building.
gotta renegotiate, but yeah.
Dope
Niggas gotta pay
episode.
me, man.
Yo, shout out Michelle one time. Shout out Basco. Make sure y'all follow the pages, man. At DJ G Money156, at Queens Flip with a Z, at Flip the Script Pod. Picky Eater season 3 coming soon.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying? You ready for that? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk so smoothly, man, and you gotta, you know.
They talk uniquely.
unique.
There you
Oh,
go.
G,
Tell him, son. Tell him, son.
G, why you did that?
Tell him, son.
G, are you cool, G?
Tell him, son.
Listen. Lock your doors, close your windows, close your blinds, open your blinds. And if you see Unique on your lawn,
You already know.
put it away. He don't mean no harm. But don't be afraid to ring the alarm because he might f your moms. I'm from Queens.
Let's go.